Every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Ooh. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't want to show. I let you deeper than I let anyone else before. I never broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. My heart we need it, no, I can't keep scoring. Oh, you got me breathing. Oh. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Ooh, you take me higher. Ooh, baby, take me higher. Ooh, baby, take me higher. Ooh, baby, take me higher. Baby.
Welcome to Saturday Night Vibe, the progressive news show with Let's BS3. I am your host, Small, and along with Tracy Carson, Theus Robinson, and everybody should know at a heart now, the introduction to the show. Told y'all I had a surprise. I also have a second surprise today, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until it happens.
Fair enough.
I know.
Again, I'm not going to tell you what it is until it happens. So, as always, please hit that like button. We appreciate each and every one of your efforts to support this channel. Please also share this in your social media circles. Subscribe if you haven't already. And much love to everybody. Mickey said, hi, Anna. Enjoy the show. And you can sing.
Thank you.
Hello,
Mickey.
Susan.
Hello.
And Mickey said, hello, Tracy and Theus. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good, man. How you do?
I got to take a good long nap. I feel great.
I took a nap too. It was short though.
I didn't take a nap today.
I wasn't
We'll
going
take one
to,
tomorrow.
and then my eyes start saying, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
I may take one tomorrow. I didn't feel like taking a nap today. I'm pretty I'm wired. I mean, I could go to sleep right now, but feeling pretty good.
And I'm super excited because everybody knows what tomorrow is.
Sunday?
Football. Sunday football. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know.
I thought you were looking forward to being able to talk to your neighbor.
I will finally have something to do between 1 and 9, and yeah, Theus, I'm gonna ignore that comment because I'm the more mature person.
Okay. He's talking to the carpet. Without further ado, let's get this party started. Okay, this first one is is rather disturbing. Not disturbing like terrible or anything like. It's rather disturbing that I think that this is a trend when it comes to this next generation. And you know how I always make this big introduction that doesn't make any sense at all until you see the video. There's like, oh, okay, now I see what you're saying. But this is a trend that I've been seeing lately. And it boils down to the last generation and then this generation and the last generation, or the generation before us and this generation, so on and so forth. I'm seeing this trend happen more and more, and I'll go into more detail at the end of this video.
Gasserick. This is a story from when I worked at Subway. Today, a woman came in with her teenage daughter. I say hello and ask if I can help them. The daughter asks for the bathroom code so she can wash her hands while the entitled mother stands in line looking at her phone. More people come in, and the entitled mother is still on her phone. This conversation is happening while people are lining up behind her. What's the sub of the day? Roast chicken? That's not what the sign says. It says either chicken teriyaki, ham, turkey, or... I cut her off. The sub of the day changes every day. Since today is Tuesday, it's roasted chicken. The daughter came back and stood next to her mother. Oh, well, that's really shady advertising. Whatever, I'll get 2 6-inches of that. Just keep the meat off of my daughter's side because she's vegetarian. I ask the daughter if she wants me to make her sandwich first so I don't touch meat and then her vegetables. She says please and then tells me what kind of bread she wants. I make it really quickly and she asks about a garlic sauce we have. She ended up liking it and wanted it for her sandwich. I want that for my sandwich too, and chipotle and mayo. Okay, what kind of bread would you like? This is where the entitled mother turns into a grunt. I was just about to ask you what kind of bread you guys have, but apparently you can't keep your mouth shut. At our Subway, we do have the right to refuse service, so I said, oh, I'm sorry. The entitled mother threw her hands up in the air. Stop wasting my time. What kind of breads do you have? I tell her what kind of breads we have and she picks. I go put the garlic sauce on first. I changed my mind. I don't want garlic sauce anymore, just the other 2. She gets this smug smirk on her face. Get another piece of bread. So I do. Then she asks about the chipotle steak. I tell her I'm sorry, but we don't have steak at the moment. Why is it on the board if you don't have it? This is just ridiculous. Don't go promising things to people if you don't have it. The teen grabbed her mom's arm because by now the line was to the door and everyone was looking at her. She told her to stop. No, I am not going to be lied to like this. The daughter cut her off and said, this is why I live with Dad. Just take me home. The daughter walked outside. The entitled mother looked at me, then at the people behind her. She just asked for her sandwich to be wrapped up. She threw down $20 and walked out with her 2 sandwiches looking at the floor. It was a good...
So here's what I was saying about the next generation and last generation. Remember, we always grew up with the understanding, respect your elders.
Mm-hmm.
And now we done got to the conclusion now that some of them elders never should have got our respect.
They don't make elders the same way no more.
Yeah. Because this girl flat out said, that's why I stay with my dad.
Oh, you would have heard that even back then.
Stuff like this.
I think you might have heard that back then, depending upon the dynamic of that family. You know what I mean?
But it was few and far in between. I'm talking about this is just now getting to the part where it's just now becoming normal. Like, you know what? I can't deal with you.
Yeah, but I think a big part of that,
you raising me and everything else, but I can't deal with you.
Big part of that, I think, which you kind of hitting on too, is there's a social order that's kind of shifted, and I'm not going to say it's all bad, right? So I think that it's good that children are not just randomly giving respect to you just because you're older than them, right? Mm-hmm. I like that part, but at the same time, like the adults are refusing to grow up. Like there's something wrong with getting older all of a sudden. So they're trying to still be young, even though you're raising another generation. So you end up with elders who are refusing to become elders So they're still acting like they're in their late teens, early 20s. And it's like both sides are pushing a little bit too far, but it is what it is. Like we create these kids. So
It's
I was going to say, like, when you have the next generation, you're an adult, not necessarily an elder. An elder, especially in tribal places, that position is earned. You're known within your community. Your works are known. Whether you are a good person that goes around to your neighbors, you are somebody that um, pretty much stays to yourself all day.
no, I feel
Mm,
you. I feel you, Anna, but like maybe this is the context I'm coming from because I feel you with like with the native or indigenous cultures, right? And to an extent we had that, but I'm saying this outside of the church angle because I do not understand when how you become an elder in the church. I don't get that part. But
mm,
generally speaking, in the Black American community, you are not quote unquote an elder, but you treat anyone older than yourself with a certain
yeah,
level of respect. They don't have
yes.
to earn it. They don't have to prove anything to you. There's a certain level of deference
Hmm.
to the difference in age. And that part is starting to erode across the board, not just in our community, but all the way out.
Oh, yeah.
But like when I hear it, that's where I'm coming from. But when I say like an elder, that's not like me, or it could be me to a high schooler. But really, I'm not considered an elder yet. I'm more like an old head, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, Marlon? Like we're called the
yeah.
old heads,
I
but
think we need to
your
stop
elders
using
would be
the
like my
word
parents.
elder. I think we're mixing up the word elder and older. And we was brought up on the respect older folks when they say elder. And it wasn't always true. Um, adults, most of them, not everybody, but we don't work in absolutes in a way. So refuse to earn the respect. And they really just feel like, because, and I'm sorry to say it like this, but because you didn't die, you're automatically given the respect that you deem is worthy of having the respect because you're still here. You don't want to earn it.
I guess.
I just
See,
see some. I grew up
No,
with
I'm
some
saying there
parents.
are people who think just because they're older, they can bully everybody else around them, right? You got those. Those are those people who've been a
Yeah,
sour. They've been sour their whole life. Let's just be real. But I still think that a big part of things is this concept of you have to earn respect. I get where people are coming from with that, but it is completely against the social order. Like if you really want to have a healthy environment to function in, you should respect everybody to some degree, period. Like just because they're breathing and they're in front of you, you show them respect because that's how you avoid unnecessary conflict. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that you let them walk over you. No, there's levels to this. But like
I
if I
would say
come
more
up and
courtesy.
right, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So for me,
Hmm.
courtesy and respect are like almost the same thing
Okay.
because it doesn't mean that I reverence you because I don't do that for really nobody but my parents, right? But um it's just that thing that says, you know, okay, I'll put it this way. This is what my father taught me how you engage with women. My dad taught me early on, you always treat a woman 2 degrees better than how you meet her, right? So if you meet a woman and she is like just a normal lady, right? Just normal, right? You treat her like she's better than that. You
Mm.
meet a lady who is a crackhead, right? You don't treat her like a crackhead. You treat her better than that, right?
Right.
So it won't be the same. Like the crackhead won't be treated the same as the lady who's not. But you're
Mhm.
elevating because when you give people extra respect that they didn't have to ask for, they didn't have to earn it. You're just giving it to them. You'd be surprised how much easier those interactions go. Everybody wants to feel important, so it costs you nothing. That's just me.
Wow.
Oh, shorty at the subway, yeah. Obviously, mom has done some stuff to damage this relationship, and she's tired of being embarrassed.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she
Tracy?
probably was quiet before, but now it's like, yo, I don't even have to live with you. Can I get my sandwich and go?
Tracy?
A lot of thoughts here, a lot of thoughts. I was raised to respect my elders. I don't care how wrong they were. I don't care what they did. They were my elders. I had to respect them. I couldn't talk back to them. I couldn't, if they told me something, I had to do it. Didn't matter whether they were my family, whether they weren't my family. I still think that. And I think that's, I'm going to go opposite. I think that's what's wrong with a lot of our young people today. There's just no respect. I don't like to see younger people totally dismiss our elders in terms of wisdom, in terms of advice, in terms of counsel. I don't like to see us just throw away a whole generation. And I think that's what we do. We say, oh, they're too old, they need to sit down, pass it along to somebody else. And basically, we're just saying, yep, just go away and die. And I don't like that. I don't like it in politics. I don't like it in church. I don't like it anywhere. That's me.
Well, I don't know about that politics. I ain't telling you to go away and die. I'm saying go away before you die. That's my thing. Like, you had your run. Like, you so far removed from the people that you're supposed to be legislating for.
But
I mean, you 90 years old. What you doing making rules for somebody who's 22? But I feel you though.
No, that's okay. But I think we do that. Now, conversely, some elderly people, when I look back, they did use being elders as a bullying tactic. Matter of fact, they would let you know you're going to do what I say do. And I'm talking about my experience, not everybody else's. You're going to do what I say do because I'm older than you. And when I look for advice, I never go to somebody my age. Never am I going to go to somebody my age. I'm going to go to that older person because I figure, oh, they have experience. They've been where I've been. They can tell me what they did. That's how I look at it. I wish that we as a society revered our elder population more. I think we're really lagging, and it really shows in terms of our moral compass. But that mother at the Subway restaurant, if I was a kid, I just would have left.
Right. So I'm with you, Tracy. I think you still need to give people their respect, and I really do agree that you should any society should value its age and its youth, right? So you should, like, America shouldn't be fighting so much about how well we take care of people who are over age 65. And we shouldn't be fighting with how much we should invest in our children under age 25, right? This is like your future, and this is your history, and they're right there, right? And both of them, like, in my opinion, I know a lot of people will depart from me on this, but for me, literally, those who are like over age 65, because you got to pick a number, right? So those who are over age 65, even if they were horrible coming up, like they were robbing banks, they were out running numbers, they spent all their little money, I really don't care. If they are at that age, there should be a base of support that the country gives you just for making it there, right? Because that's just how you take care of those who are up in age, and those who did better for themselves are going to do better for themselves. So it doesn't even matter. But for those who didn't, those who came up on the rougher side or just had a bunch of bad breaks, why would we just be like, well, you should have done better and turn our backs? I don't feel that, I don't think we should be means testing certain things. I don't think we should be. I think too much energy is spent There you go. Too much energy is spent trying to figure out who deserves help
Yeah,
Right.
we all need help
instead of
essentially.
just helping, right? You
Mm-hmm.
if you make sure every kid in America, you are a US citizen in America, and I'm focusing on citizens because it should mean something to be a citizen, okay? So every US citizen from birth, well, actually pre-birth, because at that point you're taking care of the mother, but from birth to death, there's certain things you should just be taken care of with. And then you rise or fall on your own merits, in between. But that's one reason I don't think we will get to the universal health care that you're working on, Tracy, in the short term. That's why I don't think they're going to fix our voting rights in the short term. That's why I don't think they're going to fix the Roe v. Wade situation in the short term, not on a legislative level, because we are too busy worried about who deserves to be taken care of.
And Mickey, even from what you just said, do you really know the history behind what made that person, as you say, a bastard? Do you know the story of how he got to where he is right now? Are you looking to extend any sympathy, empathy,
Grace.
even when it's hard? Um, there's just always two stories to a situation, and I wanted to clarify, when I say tribal, I'm not going towards indigenous. I'm actually thinking more towards ancient civilization, because before we closed ourselves off behind walls, we were all tribal.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. And Marlon, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Did your background change when you bring the words up? Because that's black, and I don't remember that color at all.
Yeah, the part where the comments come up.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, that? Yeah, I
Oh,
did change it. I did change it. Yes.
okay, because I'm like, I don't remember that. It was always white when I saw it.
Yeah.
I kind
it's
of like
night
that. I
mode.
like
I
the dark
actually
joint.
like it.
The dark joint's cool.
I try to change it. Try
You
to,
know,
try.
I was just like, wait a minute, am I seeing things?
I was just trying to be cute.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
mother, she should be in the A. Am I A ho for it? Yes, Karen, you are.
but at the same time, what Anna was saying, I do add a little. I'll add a lot of value. I know I come across a little hard hearted, but I'm really softy on the inside. So I am lightning ain't coming, brother. I mean,
I'm making
look at
sure.
look at the stuff I commit myself to, man. I really do care about people. But my problem is, um, like the lady throwing a fit in the subway. On a larger discussion, it's what has this person gone through to make them think that the only way to get their desired outcome is to beat down or abuse someone else. Like there's something at
Mhm.
some point that not just happened once, but was reinforced to create that personality type, right? And that behavior set. So, on a larger discussion, I think that's valid. But at the
Mhm.
moment, I don't even care. You're in there and you are exerting pressure on someone who's literally just trying to do their job, a basic job. Like they didn't come to evict you. They you came to them to get a sandwich.
Yep.
So
Which you could
in
have made
that
at home.
moment,
And
yeah.
that's what I wanted to push back on Anna just a tad bit.
Oh, I
I
was actually
really want,
supporting Anna just so I can be clear.
I mean, there are other people to consider in that situation.
yeah,
That's that.
I think your background of it depends on what, because a lot of people take being an a-hole depending on a lot of functions that other people would do. They just standing up for themselves or whatever. But my point was to you, Anna, was on the same line of what this is saying is that if there's a guy that's grumpy and he don't like to make eye contact or he don't talk when you talk to them or something like that, then you kind of like, what went on in your past where you just feel like you want to pull yourself from society? there is nothing in this woman's background that you could explain to me how you have this thing where you you already done messed up some piece of bread, so now I'm gonna make you make another piece of bread. You could explain that to me in a million years. What in your background or your upbringing or your childhood that makes you feel like that's just real funny and you get some kind of enjoyment out of
I could
making other
explain it.
people miserable.
I can
That
explain it,
action
but
is
it's still
not okay.
antisocial behavior.
Entitlement.
It's still antisocial behavior, but I could explain it. It can happen a number of ways. It could come from, like Tracy was saying, with the entitlement thing, where it's like everybody around you has always served you. Even from childhood, they just let you get away with whatever. So when you walk into a space, it's your space. So you treat everybody like they're disposable and everything. And it's gone all the way back to like childhood. But then you have some people that might have been what we call normal, and then they had a series of situations where they were in relationships where they learned where they were too submissive and they never spoke up for themselves, or their parents were so overbearing and they never spoke up for themselves. And then they started to speak up for themselves, and they found out that people will get out the way if you push a certain kind of energy out there. So then they just kept going, and it feeds them. And then you have some people who are just miserable, and they're miserable because whatever has happened in their life, everybody can't grow or recover from whatever happened to them. Like, everybody doesn't do it the same way. Some people kind of crack, and she could have cracked. So now she goes around. It's like her way of feeling better is to make you feel worse. All of it's antisocial.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All of it gonna get your card pulled if, you know, I'm the manager and I catch you talking to my employee like that, you know. But I can see how it can
I'm glad
happen.
their employer had the sense to tell that worker that they have the right to refuse service.
Yeah.
So, working in customer service, I don't care if they cuss me clean out. I have to sit there and listen to it. Do you know how many times I want to respond back? And when people know that they can push certain buttons and do certain things and you can't do anything, they're going to try you every time.
Especially, this is from me watching and observing from being a coworker and being in leadership, especially if you're a woman. My goodness. People come at women doing their job sideways. It doesn't matter what role they're in. It doesn't matter what authority position they hold. People come at ladies so sideways. And it main ones be other ladies. Like, you get the guys who will talk down at you, right? I don't know what you're doing, little girl. Like, that kind of ignorant stuff that some of these guys do. But the ones that go straight ham, you straight up Karen.
And that's why we don't have a woman president yet.
Nah, that ain't why. We ain't got a woman president because men are stupid.
That's why we don't have a woman president.
Because, you know, it's funny. Almost every household is run by a woman. All right.
Of
Even
course.
when the man's in the household, like, look at my family, right? I'm the shot caller, right? If I say it, it's getting done. That's what it is. But you know what? There's a filter that happens before I say anything. I'm like, all right, how's she gonna react to this? So the woman runs all these things, all these levels, right?
Not if men tell it.
No, that's because the way our system. All right, first of all, I hate to put it there because, you know, I always go there. Religion, right? Name your religion. It puts a woman in a secondary position every time, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Indian legend, maybe what is it? The Indian faith?
Indigenous?
No. Indian, like India.
Hindu.
I think they have a more. Oh, actually, no, I don't. No, they got the class system and all that stuff going on.
Yeah, caste.
So
Yeah.
I don't care where you go. And I know how it happened. Like, it comes from the beginning of how all men and women function. Physically, we're dominant. So we can use force to overcome whatever is around us. And since we're physically more dominant than women on whole, that is what created. And then you create all these rules behind it to keep the woman who is more intellectual in many cases from being able to catch up with you, because you keep enforcing I'm physically stronger.
Yep.
Like, then you codify that in the religion.
You're never gonna get older. You're never gonna lose your strength. You're gonna just keep on being bam bam for the rest of your natural life.
Even when we old and feeble, we still, you know, But the thing is, though, but the women ain't free on this because they're grown up in this culture. So the women come up and they help to keep everything going. If you take it on an animalistic standpoint, no matter how nutty the man is, the woman still knows she has to take care of the next generation. So sometimes she'll take abuse that she doesn't really need to take. Sometimes she'll just blow some things off because she just needs to do that because her whole mission is to get the next generation to adulthood, right? So that's kind of filters all the way through. But man, it is so annoying working and seeing how people do. It's just
hold
man?
that thought, because that's a great segue into this next video. So I was looking at Dash's video Thursday. He does a live show every Thursday. Y'all forgot who Dash was. He's the guy who's the barbecue and the catering guy that came on one time before.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Dane Dash. I'm like, what?
No. He's Dash. And we got into pet peeves. And he started talking about the pet peeves, and this is a pet peeve, and that's a pet peeve, and everybody on this show jokes about, irregardless, and that's my pet peeve for this show because it's not a damn word.
Well, Webster says it is.
I don't give a what Webster said. Webster's a wimp now lately. So I was looking through some of the videos, and I came across another pet peeve, and I think this pet peeve is a little stronger to me than the irregardless, because I think I grew up despising this pet peeve because I saw it way too much, and it's like this pet peeve comes up more and more the higher in. Everybody disappeared for a second. The more and more the hierarchy that you get in society, the more and more I see this. And it's like the more and more I see this, it's like, okay, so it ain't society, it's it's people. So this is just found my new / old pet peeve.
The post is from Bombadillas. First post in quite some time. I work at a local authority on the help desk. Social workers are the bane of my existence. But you learn to cope with their general incompetence as part of the job. But sometimes they can still surprise you. This happened today. So we use a generic username for most of our computers so that people can log onto the machine. Then, from there, they log into Citrix to work. Everyone knows the username and password for this. It's literally written on the walls in most areas, because the only thing it can access is another login page, so it isn't a security issue. Most of these accounts stay logged on at all times to save confusing the geniuses that work there. A guy rang up, said hello, and asked for the generic login details. I've changed the exact username and password in this story, but other than that, it's more or less word for word. So, what's the username? It's computer. So, is that the asset number of the PC? No, it's just the word computer. And then / my name? No, it's the word computer. COMPUTER. Computer, nothing else. And what's the password? It's password, as in the word password with a capital P, but you replace the A with a 4. So it's password 4? No, it is not. It is P4SSWORD with a capital P at the beginning. Everything else is lowercase. Okay, so the username is computer password. What's the password? No, the username is computer. The password is password. That's everything. Just 2 words, 2 boxes, 2 words. Type. It didn't work. I typed in password, but it says it's incorrect. Spell out what you typed for me, please. PASSWORD. Very slowly and clearly, in case it was my accent or something. Like I said, capital P, number 4, lowercase s, lowercase s, lowercase w, lowercase o, lowercase r, lowercase d. Password. Type. Nope. And it says the account is locked. I used a capital P this time, definitely. Did you use a 4 instead of the A? Use 4 what? I remoted to the machine and typed it in for him. He complained that the system was needlessly complicated.
Can I say a couple quick things? First of all, the IT dude is an asshole. Second of all, the dude who was doing the narration, his laugh is like annoying, like that fake forced laugh. No, come on, dude. I understand you're probably on take number 12, so your laugh wasn't really doing well because you're trying to get through your script or whatnot. But edit that part out. And the reason I say the IT dude was an asshole was because you're in a service role. So I don't care how frustrated you get with the person you're talking to. You don't talk down to them. You don't know, because what we didn't get background on was this person's
the idiot
about the person who couldn't figure out how to use 2 simple words. Yes, that person. What we don't know about them is this a new hire? What we don't know about them is how often they log into the system.
What that got to do with anything?
It has to do with a lot of things. Because if it's a new hire, they don't automatically know that the username is computer and the second one is password. They don't automatically know that. And then, yes, that person was slow on the uptake and figuring out how to type in the thing after I done told you 2-3 times how to type it in, and then you still got it wrong. Yeah, I get that. But you know what? That's what we deal with. So it's like, I don't know, man. I felt like it was really unprofessional.
I'm not saying
in
that
so.
squat about this IT person.
Mm-mm.
He held it a whole lot.
It's never surprising that the two of you are opposite me on how to treat people.
You could have been in any kind of ramification. The username, the word is computer. Okay, so computer and then my last name. Fucker, did I say anything about your last name? I just said computer. What is with you and adding stuff? I didn't say your last name.
It's written
I don't even
on
know
the
your
wall.
last name.
It's written on the wall.
She said it may be written on the wall, but we also don't know this person's calling in. So, I mean, there's a lot that can go into it.
Written on the wall.
You could be talking to a certified, not bright person. Okay?
It's written on the wall.
This guy got a job there, though.
Yeah, but that might not be his core job function. And I know me. I go to somewhere and you tell me, now I'm familiar with Citrix, so I get where that's coming from. But ain't no way that I mean, just the idea of you telling me that the common username password is computer and password
with the number 4.
Well, they changed that the information.
I know he's saying it's real basic. Yeah.
It's written on the wall.
Yeah, see,
in most places it was, Tracy.
For a split second, I thought the dude was being an a-hole. I really did.
I did too. I'm like,
for a split second, I just thought this dude is just playing and he can't need his dents and he just acted silly just to act silly.
Could be.
Because when he came out with, so the username is computer password, and I'm like, okay, dude, come on.
Yeah, that part I thought he was playing with. But that's also the part that I thought was fake.
Oh no, I got the fake story for the day. And of course, I got the feel good story and I got the fake story, and I guarantee you it's gonna flip. And the good feeling story is gonna be fake, and the fake story, that's possible.
Little old lady steals an ambulance to help somebody get to the hospital on time, and only killed 3 people on the way. Bravo, little old lady, for doing something nice.
Who would say something like that?
I need some people brain stop as soon as they have to do something with a computer they're not used to doing. I really admire
Yeah.
my son's being popular using helping people. And I have, and
Thank
here's
you.
the deal.
Thank you.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
But
Username
Marlon
and
works in
password.
IT, so he would know.
Username and passwords. I get what you're saying, Sue. I really do. Because there are certain things where I do listen to people giving instructions to people who have no idea about computers. And even I'm sitting there like, come on, dude. You know daggone well they have no idea what you're talking about. And I wouldn't know what you're talking about if I didn't do it for years and had to deal with it. But you're talking like they got a certification larger than yours and you just rambling through. I get that. Username and password ain't one of them.
But Marlon,
It ain't one of the things.
if you're how would you manage this person? Like the way I would manage this person is
I
because they
would
would have come to
remote
me
it
after
in
this
real
call.
quickly, just put the stuff in.
No, I wouldn't, because you create a whole new problem if you teach them.
He's gonna call you every single time.
But what I'm saying is,
Like this dude ain't gonna do it now.
well, obviously that's not what he does, and he actually decides to be in my opinion, an asshole. But what I would say is, okay, now based off the call you just had, and you run through how you felt about it, what you ultimately had to do, and how we could have possibly avoided you having to admin into the system, because you know that's not something we want you to be doing, right? So, how is another way you could have presented the login credentials?
Look on the wall.
No,
Yeah,
I think I know what
you
this
and I
is
would have
saying.
monthly meetings where I'm constantly writing you up. But
For what?
what
If
I'm
it's
saying,
on the wall, if it's
No,
on the wall
but
in
okay,
front of me, how we gonna have monthly
we're
meetings?
running a business. We're not doing a
is what he's
personal
saying.
thing.
What he is saying is, I know what Theus is saying, but theirs is a little different because it's sort of like what he's saying is the username and password that he's giving them just logs you into the computer.
Yeah, it's just the first step.
But everything else that is sensitive information,
Right.
boy, that's a scary freaking point. If you can't even log into the computer, how the heck are you gonna log into the systems?
He may know his system information because he gets to pick it. But as far as that first one, that's a little different. And if you've ever dealt with Citrix, it's actually 3 steps. You got the first Control Alt Delete login that you do just to get into your computer, right? Just your normal startup password, right? Once you get past that window, you have to open the Citrix gateway. Then you have to put in that username and password, which should never be written on the wall. But anyway, okay. But
it's not.
But no, in this scenario, in many places, he's saying because it's so common, they put it on the wall in various places to help them avoid having to call IT for something so basic. So, but that being said, there's a Citrix password. Once you get past Citrix, you then have to open your application and put your credentials in. So it's a 3-step thing. So it's a little, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. The way I would have spoken to this particular IT person at the end of the day would have been like, look, so based off of everything you just shared with me, and as we listen to this call, then would you agree that a better way to approach this is, okay, sir, so the username is going to be a universal username, and it's just going to be the word computer, lowercase, COMP, whatever, right? It's just all lowercase. Then, have you got that in? Perfect. Now, next step, we're going to do your password. Password is a little bit unique, but it's very simple. It's capital P, the number 4, and then the rest of the word password. So SSWORD. Do you have that in? Perfect. Hit enter. Are you in? Great. Have a great day. You'd have been done. It's no confusion on if this person has a normal aptitude, a lower aptitude. None of that. You would have avoided half that phone call. But
can I avoid the whole password? All right, we're running a little short on time.
What do you mean?
Because Diaz just has to protect the customers. The customer is always right.
Customer isn't always right. Customer keeps you employed, though.
Mm.
More important, that dude that don't know how to put a damn username as pat.
It's on the wall.
So we're just gonna jump into the feel good story so we can get this out. Yeah, okay.
Dance. So my story starts on what was a normal day taking calls on the front line for a large cable company. The job paid well, and for the most part, the people that I dealt with are fairly nice to talk to. Quite often we'll get calls from seniors who are having problems with their TV. Now, my heart does go out to some of these folks, because up until recently, we would supply straight analog cables to many homes. However, nowadays we use more advanced digital equipment, and this has caused a lot of frustration with older people who don't know how to operate that equipment. For example, having to switch your TV to video or HDMI to get the picture. So, oftentimes, we get customers who are repeat offenders with long ticket histories on these types of issues. So anyway, I get a call from an older gentleman who's quite bitter and mean right off the bat. He did not like that I had to ask for his address and phone number to verify the account, and he hated that he had to speak with a machine before reaching an agent. I have some experience handling these types of customers. However, this call was going to be a little different. Let's call this customer Mr. Smith. I spent over 45 minutes with this guy trying to get his TV set connected to the digital box so he could receive a TV picture. No luck. He was clearly getting frustrated by the whole ordeal, and he started blaming me for not being able to do my job properly, how I was useless, etc. Whatever. Like I said, I've dealt with this type of customer before, so I tried my best not to take it too personally. But eventually, I had to ask him if we could book a service tech to come to his home to get his TV working correctly. This was a free service, by the way. Unfortunately, our booking calendar was showing the earliest appointment 3 days out. That's when Mr. Smith dropped this on me. Don't bother sending out a technician because I'll be dead by then. I'm 94, and TV is the only thing that I have left. Are you really going to make me wait for a tech? I instantly felt bad. I mean, I've heard every complaint in the book as to why people don't want to wait for a tech, but this one kinda got to me. I'm in my mid-20s, so honestly, I can't even imagine how it must feel to utter those words. So I spoke with my supervisor, who said they'd see if they could get someone out earlier. So I let Mr. Smith know, and he was predictably not very happy with my answer. At that point, it almost sounded like he started to cry, and he started talking about how he has no family left and no friends who come visit him either. Man, I felt terrible. So I took it upon myself to ask Mr. Smith if I could pay him a visit. He lived in a small city 1 town over from where I was, so not a very far drive. He was a little shocked that I was willing to do this, but he sounded thankful that I was willing to personally come out and help him. So I drive over to his residence and meet him. Within 30 seconds I had fixed his issue, and I even brought him a simplified remote to avoid this problem in the future. That's when he started crying. He started talking about how he hadn't actually spoken or really interacted with anyone for years. He gave me a hug, and he told me how thankful he was that I had come out to help him. And he told me how sorry he was for being so mean to me earlier on. I said it was no problem and I was happy to help him, and that was it. I left. 3 weeks later, my supervisor came to my desk and asked me if I could come speak to her about Mr. Smith's account. Turns out, Mr. Smith had sent the cable company a handwritten letter outlining how thankful he was for helping him with his issue, and how it really made an old man happy again for once in a really long time. The company framed that letter and put it on the wall in our front entrance to retail. I guess the moral of this story is that no matter how nasty someone is to you over the phone, sometimes they're not always a terrible person and they're just going through something. I still think about Mr. Smith occasionally when I get those nasty customers, and it makes me feel a little bit better. Anyways, thanks for reading. I just thought I'd share how this one call changed my outlook on life. Man, OP, when your manager came in to talk to you about Mr. Smith's account, I was pretty sure that you were going to say that Mr. Smith was dead. So I was pretty relieved to see that wholesome outcome instead.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, they gonna
Yeah,
say
that's
Mr.
what I thought
Smith-
too.
Mr. Smith and gone up yonder. Mm-mm.
So
Upper
before I even
room.
get started, before we even get started,
Upper room.
these feel-good stories are a few occasions when Dennis and I agree and disagree with Marlon.
Upper room.
So here we go. This.
So actually, I think this story was 100% true because I spent many years in customer service on the phone and not, and I've had these experiences. So yeah, 100% true. And probably the realest part of the entire story was when, after delivering amazing customer service and going above and beyond, he didn't get an extra break. He didn't get lunch on the company. He got the card someone else sent, framed, and put on the wall. That's real.
That's he did. I ain't gonna lie to you when he said, "Can I speak to you about Mr. Smith account?" I could have sworn he did.
We need to
Nah,
close his account,
what I
and we thought
expected,
you should know.
yeah, what
That's
I
exactly
expected
what I thought.
was, hey, we need to talk about you going out to visit customers. That's
Yeah,
what I
I was
expected.
worried.
That's what I expected.
Now this is the only little tidbit of not being real, but possibility. They tell you off the bat, do not go to customers' homes. When I
Yeah,
was on
do
the phone,
not.
you do not go to customers' homes. I don't care what they say and everything else and blah blah blah. And they always use the excuse because we're talking about the 90s and the early 2000s, not the here and now. Because the here and now, they'll tell the truth. Like, yeah, don't go to no customer's house because they may kill you. If they're just hostile on the phone now, imagine if they actually have a physical person there. So don't go to people's house. You don't know what they is. Back in the day when they was trying to be politically correct, when they was really trying to be PC and over there. No, because you could go to their house and you can damage their equipment, and then you'll be liable, which means we'll be liable, which means we have to pay out the money and everything else. Reality was, no, food, don't be going over strangers' houses because you talk to them on the phone.
Well, both are true. And
yeah, I can believe both is true.
That ain't your job function. So the reality of the situation could very well be that I come to your desk and I say, Paul, I need to talk to you in my office about Mr. Smith. And now, of course, you freaking out because I done came over you with a different tone of voice to take you to the office. And then we get in the office and I'm like, two things, Paul. One, great job. I love the feedback from Mr. Smith. So that is a positive thing for you. And for that, I am personally going to cover, the next 20 minutes on the phone for you. Go ahead and take a break, right? But, Paul, you also know that you cannot take it upon yourself to go and visit a customer in the field. That's not your role. You're not insured for that. We aren't able to track where you are. There are a lot of reasons why you really should not have done this. So while this had a positive outcome, that is not how it should function. So I will be adding a note to file. It is not a write-up, but it needs to be documented that I told you not to do this again. That's what would have happened, straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? Because Paul gonna get another nice lady. He gonna get a nice lady on the phone. She gonna get to crying, and he gonna wander his butt over there again. And he do exactly what he's supposed to do, and he's gonna leave. But she gonna feel like either he made a pass at her, he looked at her funny, or anything like that. And now we got a problem.
House.
Huh?
Yeah.
Something is missing out the house.
Right.
That will tell.
Something's missing.
Right. So,
Okay.
Paul, I get good intentions, brother. But understand you dodged a bullet.
Here comes another.
There you go, Tracy.
I don't believe this story. I absolutely do not believe this story.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
I want to. I want
to. Hey.
So bad. I have a couple of problems. As a person that works in a call center, we are privy to information like their address. We have to have them verified information. There's no circumstance that he should have been offering to go to that man's house. He doesn't know who that
fully
man
agree
is. He doesn't know what he's into. He doesn't know whether that man, he could have been 25 years old and just killed him. He could have been 94 and just killed him. When you work at a call center, especially with cable, you're not in the same city as your customers. Like my cable company is like in New York City. I'm in Indiana, they're in New York. So I don't believe the whole, well, he's just up the street from the company. And no.
It could happen. I've had clients on the phone that work literally the next town over from me, like a 10-minute drive. I drive by your house to go to work.
But
right?
most cable companies, not cab companies or home care agents. I'm talking about cable companies. They're owned by large corporations and huge call centers, not in the town that he's at. So it's a little creepy that you would offer to go. I would have, if this was me trying to resolve this situation, here's how I would have did it. I'd have been like, hey, I would have promised them we're going to get somebody there and talk to somebody like, hey, Tech, can you go out there? Because you're trained to do that. I'm not. And then if I were smart, knowing that I already have seniors that struggle with the same issue, you get you a senior liaison group, like a group of agents that can deal with seniors and walk them through of how to do it on their own so they're not constantly calling in. But see, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. All the stuff you just said makes perfect sense. One thing you hit on that I glossed over, which is really super important. When you work in customer service, whether it be sales or service, whatever, you have access to personally protected information.
Sure do.
So even if it's only the bare minimum, like you might not have personal health information, but you have personally identifying information. So name, address, phone number. That's still, even though those are public records, the fact that you are working in a business and that's the only reason you have it, it is protected. Then you gonna use that to go to this person's house? You just open up a whole nother
can
issue.
of worms. What if something goes wrong?
Right?
What if he goes to Mr. Smith's house and he slips and falls and breaks his leg? Is Mr. Smith going to be liable? Nobody.
What if everything goes well? No problems. But Mr. Smith's grandson is a lawyer and finds out that your silly behind came up in there after talking to him on the phone.
Or what if Mr. Smith, he keeps calling back and asking just for that agent. And I
used to get that a lot.
I get that all the time. I'm like, look.
What's up?
Hello. How are
you? Aiden, I think.
Yep, that's Aiden.
Did I pronounce that right? Hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Aiden. Welcome to the show. Well, Aiden, unfortunately, you came at the end of the first hour, but there is a second hour of the show. So we're going to take a small break to reboot and refresh. And please do not forget to hit that like button. I would truly appreciate it. Unfortunately, we don't have Anna singing that song, so we're going to have to do the old, boring, tired version.
You want me to sing?
Huh?
You want me to sing?
God, no.
I wrote a song about it. Like to hit. Here you go.
So we're going to take a 3-minute break. I've been working on that, not saying 3-hour break. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and we'll be right back to Real or Nah, and of course, Foxy's videos of the week. So stay tuned.
I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I always stay dreaming, never imagine I lose my spark. Living in my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising. I'm soaring above it. It all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. Higher to a bird. You, I'm rising. I'm soaring above it. It all. I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally.
Welcome back to the second hour of the show. I'm gonna keep this show moving. I'm sort of experimenting, so to speak. See if I can keep the show around 2.5 hours. So if it feels like that I'm rushing, that's the reason why. So looking at the algorithm for a while, and I discovered that people starts to drop off around the 2.5 hour mark. So if I can keep it around 2.5 hours, probably can see if we can bring in some more people. Not as if the numbers are bad, so to speak, because the numbers have been doing phenomenally well for this show. But let's see if we can do a little better. I always try to do better. So, as always, before we even get started, let's go ahead and pay some bills. Please go to TracyMediaLLC.com Patreon page. Please go and help support her and her cause. Please do not forget to go to Patreon.com Complex Mind and help Biz with his cause, which is now you're not doing the space heaters.
Nah, I'm gonna have to hold tight. What I'm gonna end up doing is just let it roll into the next school year, because I need to figure out something better to do during the off season. Because buying heaters at the most expensive time of the year to buy heaters,
Yeah, no.
yeah,
But
I got to retool that.
But go ahead and fill up his Patreon page, so whatever he decides to get into will be a little easy on him when he decides on it. Please do not forget to go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/radical truth to power. Exactly the way it's spelled, capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Please do not forget to go to BoreliaEtc.com. That's Anna Hart's website. Go learn something that you never thought that you needed to know, but you should. And as always, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button if this is your type of content that you like. The more subscribes I get, of course, the more people will come to the show. And as always, please do not forget to hit that like button, especially right around now, to let everybody know that we are live right now, as also to tickle the balls of the algorithm to let everybody know that the show is something that everybody is liking and you can come out. I don't even know why Anna and Tracy is acting like that. I haven't used that analogy in a long time, but y'all knew it was going to come back eventually. So let's see what we got out there. So there's a couple of people that's remarking right now that is on the verge of being banned from the show. Just give you a heads up. So
Mhm.
let's go through it and then let me explain to them why you about to be banned. So I want Theus and Anna to see. Anna, yes.
Anna, yes.
Theus, no,
No,
that's a banning
yes.
situation.
Yeah, Anna,
Duet,
yes.
duet.
To me,
Susan, again, you're about to be banned. Stop putting stop putting stuff like that on this show. This is not that type of show. That's a bannable offense.
Ebony and Ivory.
Your boy used to
do,
think about a
do.
time with the laptop, go party, pour a glass of OJ with coconut rum. Yeah, coconut though. And I'm back. Yeah, I'm like you. Coconut. Coconut serious.
Coconut. Mm.
Hey man, she ain't offered to y'all.
I don't like coconut.
Ain't nobody offered you now.
Wasn't it nice for you guys to
What
meet
is your
Mickey?
problem? Because I won't let you sing?
Marlon, I just made a comment about Mickey.
You
You
ain't stop
totally
me from
missed it.
singing, dog.
Say that again.
I can sing when I.
I was saying, wasn't it nice to meet Mickey finally and see what she looks like?
I know what Mickey look like. I met
Wasn't it nice?
Mickey. I met Mickey on your show, and I was actually shocked when Mickey started watching my show because it was like she was on your show.
I forgot
Now
you guys had
automatically
already
like
met.
Mickey.
It was Anna and Mickey that hadn't met.
I miss seeing Mickey.
So
You
also,
did.
You did.
I'm so sorry. Sorry.
man, me, I'll keep watching. Okay, so one other thing that I'm going to do for a short period, for a few seconds here, because I just really thought it was so cute.
It's like I can walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming. Dreaming in colors I'm never dreaming. Oh yeah, I'll let you in.
You know,
I'm
dreaming in
sorry.
colors I never dreamed of. That sounds like LSD.
It does really
It
do sound like
does, right?
yeah,
Like,
it
why you
does.
dipping acid, man?
I just like the fact that Anna, you're going to have to explain this to me. I don't know at the beginning of the video, are you getting into your feelings? Are you warming up? And I'm trying to figure out how you went.
I'm it was a last moment. All right, get your camera, hit record. And I went to open my mouth and my throat caught a little bit. And so I was like, not quite yet. So I just had to start moving around, let my body feel the beat, and then my throat relaxed.
Okay. I just thought you was feeling that. Okay,
It's part of that, yeah.
My point is that coconut is nasty. I ain't saying
No,
that
it's
you
not as
offer
good
it
on
to
the
me or
pie.
anything else. I just said that coconut is nasty.
Coconut pie is good.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
no, coconut
Tracy,
is
we're
good.
getting this from somebody who likes mayonnaise, so we just gotta.
Yeah,
And,
I forgot about
and y'all gonna
that.
listen to somebody who don't like no food. Yo, what's up, my
Hey,
kid in
Parker.
Hey,
Kentucky?
Parker.
Kentucky be man, Florida. You a joke. You are a joke. You talk a lot of smack like Miami. You just can't beat nobody. I'm not listening to.
Notre Dame got beat. They got beat by Little Marshall.
Alabama almost got beat.
They
Yeah,
sure did.
I'm
They
sorry,
barely
Alabama.
won like 1
Woo,
point.
every last one of you little Alabama people that sit there bragging. You
Yeah,
won by 1 point from an
One
Hey, a
point.
unranked.
W's a W. You say what you want to,
But
man.
it was Texas. That margin should have
That's
been a
Texas,
little
dude.
bit wider. Little bit.
And the living is easy.
Yes, I did put up with you, Mickey, for almost 2 years. Yes, it was
This
me.
time
Thank you.
jumping.
Like we'll take Thea's opinion on taste. Thank you. Thea's has no taste buds. Thea's is just like
Yeah,
Thea's
me.
eat food depending on what it looks like and does it make sense.
You forgot whether it floats or not because he doesn't eat
Oh,
food that floats.
whether it makes sense. I don't eat food that floats. No person on the face of the planet looks at food and go, that doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna eat it.
I understand why it floats. I just don't want to eat it.
And your mama's good looking.
While Anna's in her feelings right now.
Because we started talking about football, so she said, I got to do something. I know. So.
And everybody wants to hate on Alabama. But you know what? They're going to get punished. Their ranking is going to get affected by this. They'll get it back. They'll get it back. But I was talking to my brother today, and he made a good point because I don't really follow sports much at all. And like he said, this is probably Ohio State's year anyway. So let's see.
No, it's the Ohio State.
I don't know why y'all sleeping on Georgia. I have no idea.
Because Georgia's making the same mistake Alabama's making. They're kind of playing off of the fact that they're Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, they'll settle in. I think both teams really settle in, especially Alabama. Alabama got a wake-up call because in game one, they played like Alabama. This game, I don't know who those guys were. So, sometimes, especially young people, no matter how much your coach tells you, you need to get up for every game. You kind of
sometimes they slip.
Yeah, you smelling yourself and you think your name means something. And
by the way, let's talk about it because I take Notre Dame's loss personally. only because of ACC and Notre Dame is holding ACC hostage by not actually joining the ACC.
But why should they?
Part of the ACC.
Nobody watches the ACC.
They should be glad that Notre Dame is playing them. And Marshall's not in the ACC.
They won't join anybody though, Thea. So that's not a good excuse.
Say what?
I said Marshall is not. Oh, go ahead.
No, I would say he said nobody watches the ACC. Notre Dame won't join any conference
because they're Notre Dame. They don't have to.
Okay, well you lost.
Yeah.
I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but they really don't.
Alabama should have gotten beaten. Texas should have gotten credit for
that safety. They sure did tackle.
Well, the calls go the way the calls go.
At this point in time,
here's Alabama won 2-0.
But I'm telling y'all sleeping. Don't sleep on. They're in the Big Ten, but it's not Ohio State. Oh, do not sleep on Penn State. That's all I'm gonna say.
Man, please.
Man, real or nah? You always bring it up, doggone hype teams that fall flat on their face by it.
I don't like how you didn't say that was good. Like
that. No, that was not cool.
The 8th week. Things I have heard this so much. Don't sleep on Penn State. It's the same people who don't sleep on Miami.
But I'm telling you, I'm not saying that Penn State is going to win the national championship. I'm just saying don't sleep on them. That's all I'm saying.
Tennessee going to be the SEC champs, y'all. Tennessee
is back.
And they're going to
I don't know about that kicker.
Tennessee versus Washington. Let's go.
And USC also, there's something to watch too.
All college football is good to watch, everyone. I'm going to say that. I don't care if you're watching Stanford versus Harvard.
Alone, but they won't let me.
Oh, we sorry.
Anyway, this story right here, I already told y'all I don't believe it. And this is the story where y'all go, that's plausible, so it's believable. So without further ado, here we go.
From Clickety Clickety. I was a Tier 1 remote support tech. This was one of my first official IT jobs, and I was a young, fresh-faced, wide-eyed kid with a working knowledge of some kind of code and the ability to install Java with over a 50% success rate. Ring ring went the phone, and I perked up. Another customer desperately in need, on the brink of disaster, had called upon me to single-handedly resolve their problem and leave them 110% satisfied. A problem I alone had the keys to fix, so long as it was within the exceptionally narrow purview of the types of problems that I was trained to handle. Thanks for calling Tech Support Megacorp. My name is OP. Can I have your name and client number, please? There was a long pause, and then the person slowly gave me their info. I plugged it into my system, and bam! I looked at my client's info. They were based out in Washington State. A very remote office, easily 3 or 4 hours drive from the nearest desk side support analyst. If I couldn't fix their issue, they might not be up and running for days. I was their last hope. So, our computer's been running really slow. The guy starts out, and I jump on it. I see. Let me see if you have any hanging processes going on. Do you know what version of Java you're running? Have you recently uninstalled or reinstalled any programs? No to all of these. Our remote session was lagging for sure, but I couldn't find out what the cause was. See, it started after this storm. And the guy went on to a ramble about the weather and how they've been dealing with landslides and other unrelated things. Meanwhile, I keep scrounging for data in the system. The processor was just running so slow. And it's been hot, and the computer smells pretty funny. I stopped. Smells funny. Have you cleaned it recently to get dust out of it? I felt like a genius. Once he vacuumed all that up, he'd be good to go. There was a long pause while the guy presumably took off the case of the PC, then...
Ah! Oh my god! Ah! Over there!
Strings of profanity, then quiet. Sir, I asked after a moment, are you still there? Is everything okay? No, he shouts. There's a hole in the wall, and it looks like they got in after the storm. God, they've built a hive. What? He repeated himself. So, yeah, can you, get someone out here with a new PC or something? I know it's hard to get someone out here and all. Undeterred, I assured them that I'd have something out there as soon as I could. I typed up the ticket and sent it on its way, and I never heard how it got resolved. But I will never forget that ticket as I typed it out. Computer completely filled with bees. Sending to desk side support. I learned something important that day. Never take a problem at face value or assume you have all the pertinent info, no matter how usual it may seem. Listen.
Yada, yada, yada. I'm not playing that whole video. I'm not playing that whole video.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be opposite on this one. I believe that story.
Bees in the computer?
I
You made a
believe that
hive
story.
in the computer
I
where it
believe
gets
it
hot?
1,000%. You know how many crazy places I found bees?
Bees like where it's hot too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't-
alright.
Yep. I believe this 100%.
I believe that this story is 100% stupid.
I mean, he's dumb, but I believe it's
It
true.
was entertainingly written in the beginning.
It was way too long.
Well, yeah, he always
And
does
then
that.
there's a hole. You know,
Yeah.
y'all could have look. So the problem was bees in the computer.
Nope.
You gonna bring up the hole? I'm expecting you to be running from some animal that then climbed through the wall while you on the phone and is trying to bite your feet off. That would have been a good story. But instead, we're hearing about bees.
I didn't say he was a genius. I just said I believe the story.
I agree with you, Tracy. I'm on your side.
I thought the computer blew up.
We had
See, it can happen.
Happens so much. Especially computers, they're always hot. Especially those old school computers in the back. Yep.
I'll give you that with Tracy. I don't know about computers, but those old school monitors.
And those desktops, they just
Jeez
the
Louise.
little portal thing that you
There's
put.
a lot of room for it. Get that bee up in there.
Yep.
You know what? I just give
And
up.
they out in the middle of nowhere.
There are places in Washington where, you don't get service for days.
I ain't living nowhere that I can't get to the grocery store within 15 minutes. If I'm more than 15 minutes from the grocery store, that ain't where people supposed to live.
I'm not gonna say that. No,
Oh, I would. If I don't live near a hospital, if there's no hospital near me, what am I doing here?
because the fact of the matter is, if I can drive 30 minutes, do what I got to do, and come back and spend a whole week in my house, knowing that my next door neighbor is like a mile or two away, I'm good.
That ain't gonna be a 30-minute trip, bro.
Nah, I want to live.
That ain't gonna be a 30-minute
That ain't gonna be a
trip.
30-minute trip, bro. If your neighbor's 5 minutes away, that's a lot of land. So now you're not in an area that is heavily populated or suburbanized.
If you live in,
you gonna drive.
If you live in Charlotte, but you got to go to Raleigh to grocery shop, you live too far.
Raleigh ain't no 30 minutes.
I don't know how. I don't
Raleigh
live in North Carolina.
Raleigh's about two and a half hours.
Man,
away.
Look, you live in North Carolina, not us. She's just saying if you got to go to the next town to get food.
I was thinking,
because you know Raleigh is uphill, and you gotta go.
Yeah, it's really if you take a left
you
at the
intersection.
All
Highway.
I'm saying is if you gotta go
Is
to
it Highway 15? I think it's Highway 15.
Howard Johnson's is right over there.
No, Howard Johnson is over by the La Quinta, and we got to go over by the Holiday.
These two people got me moving to Mayberry when my next door neighbor got to go down this
you wanted to move out there. We said the grocery store need to be where we can get to.
We just want to be someplace close to 3 places: a police station, fire station, hospital, grocery store.
There you go. I need them. Sorry.
Nope. I don't want to be nowhere where I can see.
I have all of those within 15, 20 minutes.
Nah, because Mickey and Anna, they keep talking about they got real life outside. I don't want to be with this real life outside.
Nope,
there are bears. There are cougars. Yep.
See, the bears I'm all right with, because see, bears don't want to be bothered with you, right? So you got to secure your trash. But other than that, the bear ain't got no business with you. He could care less. Them cougars, though.
These videos
I ain't gonna, one thing you would never find from Theus, and I know this ain't never say never, but yo, Theus ain't getting ate by no mountain lion. Unless that thing come into the city and come to my house.
Yeah, how many mountain lions come in the city? I live in Indianapolis. The only place I see a mountain lion is called the zoo. That's
right.
Okay, I got.
I can get attacked by a raccoon or a possum. That's as far as you're gonna get.
That's as worse as it's gonna get.
I have to admit, Anna.
Done my time in the city.
I have to admit, Anna. When I go out late at night and I sit there on my porch, my worst case scenario is and this is far in between, not the neighborhood I stay in now, but worst case scenario is somebody playing their loud music as they roll down, or the very worst, a stray bullet or somebody get into an argument or something like that.
Just gloss over the bullets. Gloss over the bullets.
There are a lot of shooters.
I never had to worry about sitting on my porch and going,
well, that mountain lion
sure looks nice. Or a coyote.
Yeah.
If I'm on my porch, I got my 9mm with me. That's what I got. You're talking about being somewhere I got to have a rifle and
sitting back in your rocking chair and then having your glass of lemonade and just sit back, you and Paul and Ma and all y'all sitting back and having a good one. Nope. No, thank you. I enjoy city living.
Yeah, I don't have to be in the
city. We
have
cities
city.
Too.
I don't have to be in the city. I
don't want to be in the country. Nope.
I could do country so long as I can get to a grocery. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go to the local taxidermist and be like, hey, did you have to stuff a deer head? Can I get the meat? I don't need that. That ain't part
because
of my
if
life.
you live in the country, you're not gonna be near nothing.
I'm sorry, Tracy.
No, my wife is from the country, and they got
we get to go to
like
farms and the store.
I don't never see it.
And if you want to drive for an hour, you can get to the next city.
Hold on. Everybody, hold on.
40 minutes, yeah.
Yes, when you hear the word country,
yeah,
where did you move? Because that's not a country. That's Saudi Arabia. You keep thinking you're moving to a place that don't have roads. And
I didn't say that.
You need a pickup truck to have tape wheels.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
I'm thinking of the Clampets. That's what I'm thinking of, the Clampets.
I'm thinking about
store is the next town.
I'm thinking all the places that when you driving down the highway, you be like, I ain't getting off there. That's the country.
Yep. And for me, it's Martinsville. You couldn't pay me money to go to Martinsville.
Hey,
Nope.
if Shell
I'm just
gas
keep
station,
driving.
if Shell won't even put a gas station on the exit, I ain't getting off. You ain't gonna get me on the exit. They got Bubba Troy's gas and go. I'm not going. I'm not. It ain't
I
happening.
want to walk to the grocery store. Sometimes I don't feel like driving, so I just want to walk to the store and then walk back home. I'm just like, now, Paul, let's get them their truck and let's just go. No,
Why did your accent change? Really?
because
That's racist. Call it racist.
That
that's
ain't
not
racist.
racist.
That ain't racist.
Call it racist.
You can't
That's
be racist against
classist.
country people.
That's
You can be classist,
classist.
yeah. You can't
But
be
not
racist to
racist.
somebody country.
I was being classist,
Just
not
because
racist.
you the type of person that
Let's
Dr.
go
Oz
pick-
was
let's
talking
go
about,
jump in the
that
pickup
don't mean
truck.
that I don't like you. I'm just saying, you think second cousins is okay, and I'm saying the word cousin makes it off bounds.
Racist.
So
Racist.
If
Racist.
I were racist, which I am not, I'm clearly being sarcastic and I'm clearly being classist, not racist.
I
There's
know
a
he's
difference.
just misapplying racism.
I know how a black person.
Black folk live in the country too, Marlon. Are you saying black people can't be in the
We sure
country,
do.
Marlon?
I can also say that black people don't all of a sudden go from, okay, hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the Progressive News Show. Okay, thank y'all for coming. Y'all stay tuned. All right, Foxy, y'all want to go ahead, jump in the truck? Let's go get something to eat.
Hey,
You saying there are not black people who talk like that? Because I know quite a few that talk like that, and they're like, "Hey, we gonna
those
go up the
people
road.
are in.
Hey, we go. Hey,
They are in my family. That's how I can switch accents. So
everybody
switch
get together.
up.
We go to the grocery store. We get to the grocery store.
And
Hey,
when
Paul,
I'm
you
with
got a
them,
truck?
I
Let's
talk
use your
like
truck.
they do because I know.
have to admit, though, Obama, you did do that. I saw the video. You did do that one time when you was at Harvard, I think. You was at Harvard.
Yeah,
Obama was the master
we're
chameleon
gonna bring
anyway.
this country together, and we're gonna do everything that we
Then
can
got
do.
into the black people. Yeah, what's gonna be? What it's gonna be?
And then you go to the black church, and y'all, we're gonna take this country back, and we're gonna do what we got to do and everything. I'm like,
he's code switching. That's what they do. The man is being a chameleon his whole life. Okay, he is black. You can't take that away from him. He's black, but culturally, that's not the world he grew up in. So he shifts between. I won't hold that against him. What I hold against him is sitting there and trying to tell some of the most elite, educated black young people, pull your pants up. That's not the audience, man. These are not the people. We're not worried about them.
But the funny thing about
you at Morehouse. You ain't worried about them. They got it.
And they talk about he was culture changing. And I didn't think about it then, but I am saying it now because I've grown up. You do it every single day.
I do it all the time.
How do I know this? Because
how
you talk to your friends and your family, you don't talk like that at work.
I do it all the time.
You know what?
I hate code switching.
But you know what? The word code switching.
My tone does change based on where I'm at, because in environments that are heavily melanin redacted, then me being approximately 6 feet tall, I'm not a small dude, and I don't have on my face all the time, automatically I'm viewed as a threat by certain people. So in a melanin redacted area, my voice doesn't sound like this. My voice sounds more like this because I'm being much more like gentle and disarming and all that garbage. And it's like I hear it. Like I don't even be concentrating. It just comes out my mouth and I'm like, ugh.
Did he grow up in Kansas?
He grew up all over the place in Hawaii and Indonesia.
The funny thing, you say Hawaii. The funny thing, I never heard he grew up in Hawaii. I heard that he was born in Hawaii.
Well, according to Trump,
he grew up in Hawaii.
He spent some of his life. I thought
he spent like 2 years in Hawaii, and then he went to live in Indonesia. And how I know all this, I don't know.
It's cool. My thing about him is like,
his mother did, not him. His mother did.
Yeah, but he he was or is, or whatever the right tense is, the first black president. And I get upset when people try to say, or they try to challenge his blackness. Like, I don't think you should ever challenge a person's blackness if they black, right? Because there's no one way to be us, right? So even Tim Scott and his sorry, goofy behind, he's still black. Stacey Dash, still black. Sheriff Clark Duncan, still black.
Wait a minute, let's backtrack.
Okay, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Tim Scott, you black by color.
He is, but he's black though.
You ain't black by culture.
He ain't our friend, but he's black.
No. So, you black by color. You ain't.
You can't take.
My
culture. Point is, you can't take it away from a person.
You black by color. You ain't black.
Yeah, nobody owns the black card. I mean,
but people do that to them though. Like, people will say that Tim Scott's not black, or they'll say Obama's not black.
We'll just say you're not invited to the barbecue.
I ain't invite nobody to the barbecue. No way. I might not want to go to the old stinking barbecue. But what I'm saying though, is stop inviting just random people to the barbecue. Can we stop doing that?
No problem with it, but you come you one time. Yeah,
that's how you end up with raisins in your
potato salad with the raisins in it. You ain't never coming back.
Nobody has ever done that. Nobody. I've been to a lot of barbecues.
But if it happened, you know where it came from.
No,
Tracy,
just like blueberries in the mac and cheese.
Tracy, I have literally went to it wasn't a cookout, it was a business function.
A company picture, yeah, they gonna do some stuff like that. I'm talking about a barbecue.
Somebody who had potato salad with shredded cheddar cheese on top.
Ew, man.
I'm not.
Ew, man.
I'm sorry, and we're gonna stop. I'm gonna stop because I know Anna.
No, that's just gross.
That's not terribly gross as long as they don't put eggs in potato salad. That's what I don't like.
What?
That's potato salad.
Potato salad does not get cheese.
It doesn't get cheese, but I'd rather have cheese than eggs.
Okay, stop.
All right,
I'd rather have cheese than eggs.
Y'all see this? That's blueberry mac and cheese. This did not come from the table of anybody in my family.
Stop. You know she can't take that stuff.
All them pictures, those are real things that happen, folks. People putting fruit in the mac and cheese.
Pet peeve, code switching is more than that particular thing. It can
be creative and subversive.
It can't. Okay, Susan, the deal.
When I say code switching, I'm talking about a survival tactic that has been taught culturally.
I don't have a problem with code switching as long as you understand the circumstances.
Yeah.
What I don't like, beyond a shadow of a doubt, what I don't like is when you take your code with it's more in the black community, bar none. It's more in the black community when you talk black. And that pisses me off more than anything. Or you talk white. And that just pisses me off because I always want to tell somebody, when she talks white, she talks white. No, she talks proper English. Is that what you're trying to say? And also what you're trying to say is the only culture that can talk proper English is white? Is that what you're trying to say?
Which has deep roots, like you said.
That's why it's irritating to me.
You don't hear that too much anymore, though.
You really don't. But people like to use it as an excuse. Oh, they say, growing up, they always said I talked white. Yeah, I was told that too in the 80s. That hadn't happened since the 80s.
That hasn't happened since I was like 10 or 12. I mean, I grew up being called an Oreo. I mean.
Well, I mean, it's Florida, though.
It's Florida.
Yeah, they know good.
They won one game and thought, and let's go ahead to the next thing.
Florida ain't been done since Tebow.
Anna's gonna either throw up or start singing because we putting football. So let's go ahead and get to Foxy's videos of the week. So either way. So we're not even gonna play around with this, because y'all know where my track record been. Let's go ahead and get into the newest version of, huh?
What he said the other day was beyond absurd. And I'm just wondering at what point do we let it go?
Talk about Biden?
Yes, when he's calling Americans names. We see what happened after Corona. They saw coming after Chinese people, thinking that they had something to do with the China virus. So people are very influenced very easily. Now you're gonna.
You said that people are coming after Chinese people
like in New York and stuff like that. You know, we're
because
getting
of the you said the China virus.
well, because you know how much in the media they amped it up. All right.
But
So
do you think that
so,
isn't calling it the China virus kind of like a racist way to talk about it?
No, because that was what Trump said. When they asked him what he called the China virus, he said because it came from China.
Right, but it's like kind of putting it on the groups of people, exactly what you said you didn't like.
No.
No?
What I'm trying to say is this, all right?
Sure.
All right. When people are very susceptible to believing things, okay, they take it in.
I mean, hey, whatever, man. Just come on. She's got ultra MAGA chick on the chest. Let her be. All right. Racist people say racist things. And you know, how many times we gonna go and like go to the circus and laugh at the clowns? You know what I'm saying? What you need to be doing is shut down the circus. Shut the circus down instead of always going and laughing at the clowns.
I'm sorry, but here's the deal. I don't have a problem with you. You already know I have an issue with hypocrisy. That's literally one thing. What I have a problem with is hypocrisy in the same argument that you're making. It's like, are you serious? Like, you're saying the opposite of, and I got a video.
You're contradicting yourself right now. Like, yeah, I'm with you.
That's completely, the last video of the night completely tells what I'm saying. If you're saying one thing and then later on you're saying another thing, I'm with this with that. Yeah, okay, y'all get mad, haha, we get it. Because you got to literally go find 2 videos to prove that he said this on this part. I get that. At the very least, can we give these people credit that they're separating the hypocrisy and not literally putting it in the exact same argument? Like,
that's what they do.
Biden is separating the country because just like after the corona and the China virus, and we need to stop attacking Chinese people because they thought that the China virus was. And I'm like, are you still talking in the? So you put racists against? I don't know where your.
It's a different racist. See, that's what you don't understand. See, you trying to look at it the whole wrong way. That's like when someone says that they don't hate. I hate to use this term, but you know, whatever, it's a real term, right? So I don't have nothing against colors. Colors are great. I know a lot of great colors, but them Mexicans, I got a problem with them. See, they don't recognize that there's you are insulting both groups here.
Did you just use the word color? Literally, only people over 90 use the word color.
Not true, because the NAACP stands for the National Association.
I don't count the NAACP.
Huh?
I don't count the NAACP.
Why not?
Continue. I have my own reasons. Continue.
Okay. Well, they're actually a good organization. It's just a name that's severely outdated, but it was a name that was not created by us. So, anyway, but my point is, you gotta take people for what they are. Like, I do not mind a person being racist. I just don't mind. If you're a racist, be a racist. I don't care. You will deal with the consequences of saying some racist stuff or doing some racist things. The consequences gonna come to you. I just think that people should have the right and the ability to be stupid. And in that way, you know who you're dealing with and you can decide who you're not going to deal with versus this forced thing where everybody has to operate in this weird little bubble. And now you don't even know who your enemies are. Right. So I don't even care. This lady is tone deaf. She's been programmed. She's in too deep. There's not a shred of logic you're going to get this woman that's going to help her unwind where she's at. She's stuck. You there?
Yep.
If you want MAGA to go in a circle, just ask them for details on anything.
Yep.
How stamps are made. What does it
You
take to
notice
make a dollar?
after
How
he
do you
asked
cook
her
grits?
one follow-up question, she had nowhere to go but Trump said.
Hey, remember the video from last week when the girl was trying to explain where the guy was like, yeah, but this, yeah, but this, yeah, but this. And as he was busting up every logic that she was saying, and I'm going to be honest with you because my beliefs, because the girl was using logic that has worked on other people. And she ran up against a guy who's like, no, that's not true. But she already had her
she had a script.
She already had her script ready. Well, yeah, that's right. You're true. But such and such, such and such. No, that's not true. Yeah, I understand that. But such and such. So she already had the analogy down. So and the funny thing about it is, we may pick on people like that. Me personally do it all the time. But that was one video that I showed. There's probably like 4 or 5 videos of her getting away with doing it.
Oh yeah.
And that's
because she might come up against someone like me and she'll say some stupid stuff and I just ain't got the energy for it. Now I let it go. And so she thinks she won. I don't care. I wasn't going to unwind. I wasn't going to unring your crazy bell. So it was like, you know, it's what it is. But when I look at these Trump MAGA folks, or really anybody, if you really get down to it, I've said this before, you got to decide what you want as you go into it. If you're trying to change that person's mind, you will not do it by debating the facts. You're just not going to do it. All you can do is let them say something crazy and then say, all right, so walk me through that. Right? Yep. So now they have to go back through what they're saying and reconcile it. But if you just be like, no, that's not true.
When did this
you listen to the liberal media.
And that's the funny thing about it. That's the new argument. That's a new tactic that I want everybody to adapt. When you're arguing with these people, please don't say that's not true. Because their only return is, yeah, it is. And now y'all fighting. Don't waste your time with that. This is correct. How did that happen?
Yeah, you got to get them. You got to get them to shift from debating you to having to debate themselves.
We have fireworks going off next door.
That don't sound like no fireworks with me, man.
Fireworks.
Shoot. That's some duck and cover. What was that?
No, that's fireworks. I think.
I'm so sorry about your neighbors. I would go crazy if I had neighbors that loved fireworks.
Okay,
my neighbors love fireworks, but they're not that bad.
Why I politely tell Tracy she need to duck, and
and sirens in a second.
This is right up Theus's. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Tracy need to jump behind.
I'm so used to this mess. This is why I want to go.
I'm like, but you live next door to the fire station. Somebody should be there by now.
No, I live down the street from the fire station.
This is the funny part about it is in a few seconds we're gonna hear.
Yeah, that's right. They don't come when it's happening. They gotta let it calm down first, and then they'll come out there.
Right.
We might get hurt.
It's two things. It's two things.
We was right around the corner, and then in the police report, we was 5 blocks away.
It's two things I'm bound to do. I'm bound to live near a Dairy Queen, and I'm bound to live near a fire station. Every place I've lived, it's always been 2 places I can count on: Dairy Queen, fire station.
See, I'm pretty close to a Dairy Queen too.
I really literally don't have but a fire station maybe like 2 miles away from me.
But they aren't as active as mine.
Mine isn't active at all. Mine, they just drive their truck so they can say they got one.
Basically. So this next video I'm going to give to Theus because this is something that's right up his alley.
One of the arguments you hear in opposition to talking to young children or to teaching elementary level school children about racism or the history of racism in America, is the argument goes something along the lines of, well, you're going to make white kids feel bad about being white. What is your response to that?
Well, I would say those people are most concerned about our teaching of slavery. So let's just talk about slavery.
Sure.
If we teach white kids about slavery, we're going to teach them that there were white people who enslaved people and there were black people who were enslaved. And we're also going to teach them that there were white people and black people who challenged and fought against slavery. And so my question back to them would be, why can't we allow white children to identify with white abolitionists? And
yeah, you know, excellent point. Brother is much better spoken than I, because mine would have been more along the lines of, so you don't want white children to feel bad about being white, but you're not concerned about the inverse, which is black children feeling bad about being black. So why is it that one is approached and not the other? I'm not saying that you are purposely trying to avoid talking about black people being taught through systemic social norms to be inferior to another group simply because of their pigmentation. What I'm saying is you are purposely and intentionally framing discussion so we're only looking at whose feelings could be hurt now. We're not looking at who all is impacted. So why don't we go ahead and just go into it? Because that is a fact that the brother just brought up. Nothing is that cut and dry, right?
No.
So slavery was an institution of the South and the Caribbean and so forth, but it was protected by the whole country, right? So just because you didn't decide to have slaves above the Mason-Dixon line, you knew you were profiting from it. So let's talk about the whole dynamic of power and abuse and reducing a person or a population into a commodity and things like that. If you don't want to just talk about white people were slave owners and they enslaved people, we really could have the conversation about slavery and never really delve into white people, because we can talk about the other parts of it that made this thing so oppressive. And then the child, whatever their race, will be able to hone in on personalities and behaviors, and they can decide what side of the moral coin they would fall on. But you don't want to have that discussion either.
The deal of this about parents that's raising white children, and I went on a rant, had tears in my eyes. I'm over it now, but I have to say it again. You benefited from history, and now you want to erase history, the same thing that you benefited from, and that's what makes me mad.
Yeah. But what's
that's
darker,
what pisses me off the most, is that you benefited from slavery. You benefited from having the putting minorities on the 10-yard line.
They didn't benefit from the optics of it, and that's what they're trying to change.
Yeah, you're benefiting from putting the black people on the 50-yard line while you started white people on the 10-yard line, and eventually you have a couple of blacks, a couple of Latinos, a couple of Asians, a couple of Pacific, a couple of indigenous people who actually made the touchdown, and you use that as see, it's not possible. Anybody can do it.
But what I would like people to kind of pause and take into consideration is very few people come into this discussion is coming well armed with information or context. So what happens is people start drawing into their defensive positions. And a lot of these white parents who are so against teaching anything about the less than patriotic, beautiful red, white, and blue fireworks story of America, they don't know either. So a lot of times they are reacting out of a position of, I don't want to know, right? Because you're going to teach their child something that they don't know and they don't understand. And then that child's going to come home and that child's probably going to have questions. And you're not equipped to answer those questions. You're not equipped to help them understand. So now you will start feeling, right? The kid isn't feeling any kind of way. The kid is curious. The kid is confused. You will feel inadequate to the task, and then you will feel bad. So you are really protecting yourself. You're not protecting these kids, right? Because the kid would like to know, because the kid, like, he don't know these people. They don't know these people. These people 100 years dead. Doesn't know, right? But the kid is going to come to you and say, wait a minute. So, mom, dad, how did you go to college? Did you have to pay for that yourself? Did you get help? When you got your house, did grandma, grandpa, were they able to help you do your down payment? Right? They start asking questions that aren't directly tied to the thing that you want, that you expect from them. And then you have to unwind some things. You have to unwind as to how it is that you didn't have any college debt. You have to unwind into why is it that your dad was able to take care of the whole family working as a janitor at the building. And you're like, well, my grandpappy was a janitor at the AT&T building. So he worked from the bottom up. But you're not going to sit there and tell your child that building wouldn't allow black people to be hired. So your grandfather did work hard for everything that he has. And no one can take that from your grandfather. But your grandfather had that opportunity because others weren't allowed to even step in the door. So that's where the real problem is. They don't want to.
And the funny thing about it is we can go a little further back and we can sit there and go, we are some hardworking farmers. And this land has been in our family for generations. You only have to ask one question. Who's the first generation that owned this land? Well, that was great grandpappy John Boy, whatever. I'm just throwing a name out there. Then your next question is,
who before?
How did he get it?
Yeah. How much did he pay for it?
Ask that question. You know, when did he take it?
Or was it bestowed upon him by the government?
Now, what y'all are doing is y'all answering the question. The question was, how did he get it?
No, the reason why I'm saying it the way I said it is because there's different answers to how great granddaddy got the land.
Exactly.
So if you say, how did he get it? You can say, well, he was a hardworking immigrant and he applied for an opportunity to get some land and they gave it to him. And then now the kid has to know to ask the next question. But if that kid asks, how much did he pay for it? See, I think if you really want to get at some of these people and really, they'll never let you do this. They'll never let you do this. But you have to go back and pull the record showing that you have legal right to whatever land that you sit on. And what you will find is, especially down in the South, you're going to find some fraudulent documents. You're going to find some missing documents, because when they did the Great Migration and ran all the black people out of the South, that land got absorbed. Okay. So you start tracking that down. And then if we want to go all the way back, of course, you went and you robbed the indigenous people and committed genocide.
That's what I was getting to.
So, but the thing is, and this is a point that somebody made, it was in one of the little black chat groups, and I get where they're coming from. You can't fix any of that.
Nope.
You can't. No. Not a bit of it. There is no, as dark and twisted as human history is, you can't fix none of that. As horrible, in my opinion, the European culture has been on this planet, it's been like a cancer spreading across the whole globe. Can't fix none of that. What you can do, though, is start trying to make restitution and move forward. You can do that. But that is a big lift, because you're going to someone and you are saying to them, hey, individually, you did nothing wrong. but you benefited from a broken system that has disadvantaged others. So let's try to give those people something. And I think the problem in that discussion is it makes it go into, let's take some of what you have and we're going to put it over there. That ain't happening, folks. But what we could do, in my opinion, is we can say, all right, look, I don't want you to give up nothing you have. Nothing you have. Because history is dark and twisted. We all got here off some weird stuff. But from right here, we can acknowledge clear tracks of abuses. These people have been disadvantaged in clear ways. Now, how do we account for some of that going forward? That's a discussion I think we can have. You're not going to be able to get these people to give up their land. They ain't doing it.
And speaking of that, and I hope
or stop saying, I want them to build a wall. Well, first of all, California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, that was all Mexico.
Right.
What part of this country is this country's?
But that's just it. You unwind anything in history, you will
we got
find
here in an ugly way.
Yeah, you'll find an embarkation point where somebody can lay a grievance. And that's one of those things that I had to mature into, for me anyway, on my walk. When I talk about reparations, why I talk about reparations forward, right? I talk about how do you make some things, put in programs, places, enshrine things that are protected into the fabric of America. Stop with this just crap where you got to recertify my right to vote. Stop with this thing where there's an exception clause to the 13th Amendment. Stop with this thing that you're basing education on the property tax value of a location when we know the historical reason why people are where they are. Stop with a lot of those things. Then also, for those who can track their lineage back to a certain point, then for those people, there's a reparation package. There will be some money involved here, okay? Mm-hmm. And there'll also be things like the HBCUs being fully endowed. Things like that. There are things we can do that wouldn't take anything from the people who already have what they have, right? And that's a discussion I think we should have. But once again, we're still talking about a situation where if you have 90% of everything and you feel like you're going to go to 80%,
yeah, you're going to be real mad. You like, nah, I want my 10%.
Because what's in that 10%? In that 10% is my child not having something, whatever it might be, but there's something. And everybody want to get it up.
And Thea's hit on it real quick, and I hope the algorithm is not listening at this point, but I just have to get this out of my system. I have to say it. Speaking of the European culture in the United States.
Oh, boy. Mm-hmm.
Queen Elizabeth. Let me go ahead and get on.
Yeah, YouTube went and got him real quick.
Yeah, people gonna be surprised on my take on that because I'm like, okay, yeah,
but never mind.
That's all I have to
be Elizabeth the last.
So we're gonna go ahead and move on.
Yeah.
No, Tracy wanted to say something about
the
Queen.
Absolutely
no, I don't.
Tracy wanted to say something about the Queen. Let me hear about the Queen, Tracy.
No, I don't.
Tracy, let me hear about the Queen.
I am a queen. No, that's it. I don't have nothing to say. Nope.
All right, I want y'all to explain to me, all you mega people, I want y'all to answer this question for me.
Okay, let's work from the premise that Donald Trump is completely innocent. Let us begin from the starting point, that Trump is a completely innocent billionaire who is an amazing president, a brilliant businessman, and is being unfairly targeted by an overzealous, corrupt Justice Department. Let's just say all of that is true, which I believe is what some people feel. If that is the case, then where are his lawyers? I don't mean the ex-OAN host supermodel he met at Mar-a-Lago or the ex-Bannon low-level defense lawyer he hired without meeting, both who are now in legal trouble themselves. I mean, where are the top-of-their-class Harvard Law School defense attorneys out of New York or Dallas or Miami or Los Angeles? I mean, this is a high-profile client, a Republican billionaire ex-president. Who wouldn't want to represent him? especially if you're working from the premise that he is completely innocent and the subject of a gross overstep by the FBI, and there is endless proof that everything he's done is completely justified. Where is the crack legal team? Where are the firms charging thousands of dollars an hour? He should have the best legal minds in the country tripping over themselves to represent him. Where is the team put together from the Federalist Society lawyers? Leonard Leo and Donald Trump had a deal. They support him to become president, and they get to pick all of his justices, including the 3 Supreme Court picks. Being the frontrunner for the Republican nominee for president should give Trump first draft pick of any top-notch conservative lawyer he wants. So where are they? There was a period of time just after the 2020 election when he was represented by a great firm in New York, but they quit before they took his stolen election case to court. That's how we ended up with Jenna Ellis and Rudy Giuliani. No one else would do it. Why not? Who doesn't want to represent the President of the United States? Especially if there's tons of evidence proving his case. Careers are made on such high-profile wins. So where are the conservative Republican bulldog defense attorneys? Where is Trump's Johnny Cochran saying if it doesn't fit, you must acquit? People represent guilty murderers all the time for profit and high-profile wins. Which lawyer turns away a rich, innocent, high-profile client? It's a legitimate question. Because no matter what you hear on TV or Truth Social or Facebook or from Trump himself about planted evidence and a corrupt FBI or declassified information, ask yourself, then where are the lawyers? Because if everything Trump and his defenders have said is true, then there would be a line around the block to represent him, but no one is there. So next time you go to defend him, ask yourself why no one who would make money from doing the same thing will take the job. Because I think that tells you everything you need to know.
No, they'll just say the lawyers are corrupt.
I have sat here saying, and Anna, I'm gonna let you go next.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there like that.
I have sat there and said there is one thing that's stronger than racism, bigotry, is capitalism. And I believe that in my heart of hearts. It's always going to be capitalism. It's my opinion.
It's your opinion. It's yours.
My deal is you're always going to find out. We said it earlier today, Tracy, on your show. By the way, don't forget to watch the final episode of Thursdays with Tracy.
The Progressive Queens and
y'all don't forget the other one. Tracy Takes On.
Tracy Takes On.
It'll be coming out really soon. But I said it on her show when it said who's the person that we dislike the most, and I said Nancy Pelosi. And I said Nancy Pelosi because Nancy Pelosi is a corporate Democrat. Nancy Pelosi is a corporate Democrat because they look at the bottom line before they look at the bill. And they do that because it depends on, is it going to affect their bottom line? No, Anna's next. So put your little hand down. Go ahead, Anna.
No, all I was going to say is that the problem is you're telling them to think. And she's saying, ask yourself. They won't.
They won't. That's it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. When you drink the Kool-Aid and then somebody tells you to stop drinking the Kool-Aid, you're going to have a big problem. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid because you drink. These people, and I say these people because I say it on both sides. There's blue MAGA and red MAGA. There's blue MAGA and red MAGA, my opinion.
No blue MAGA? Who the heck is a blue MAGA?
Blue MAGA and red MAGA.
Where they at?
Exist.
Who is blue MAGA? Name a
Can
person
I
that's
not
blue
express
MAGA.
my opinion and finish my thought?
Who
Let
is
me
blue
finish
MAGA?
my thought.
That's all I ask. Who is blue MAGA?
The corporate media, the supporters of Biden, he can do no wrong. Blue
Been a shout out
MAGA.
to school lately? What school didn't shout out lately?
Go ahead.
Blue
I'm sorry,
MAGA
Tracy.
and red MAGA
All right, whatever.
both
Man,
have the same faults. They cannot and will not see the faults in their anointed candidate. We can clearly see it. I can clearly tell you Trump did something, even though, yes, I know the FBI has set up people like Dr. King and Malcolm X and, people, and they've done some dirty things. No, not blue dog Democrats. But
vote blue no matter who.
Yeah, the vote blue no matter who crowd. I call them blue MAGA. I'm like, nah. I'm just not with y'all because y'all gonna give me some better options. But what I'm getting at is the people um who consistently say Trump is innocent, Trump is innocent. We can see the evidence, one, because we know who Trump is. He's a low down, dirty, bleepity bleep bleep. We can see that. But when you're so far indoctrinated and you're so far in, it's hard to take a step back and say, you know what, I was wrong. You know how hard it is for some people to say, I was wrong about a candidate?
Mm-hmm. Especially if
like
they've been wrong for a while.
Yeah,
it's hard. You can't. You
and that earlier
literally
today too.
You literally cannot, because I happen to be Facebook friends with a lot of Trump supporters, and I read their posts. Yeah, I know.
Speaking of, yo,
what's
Dash,
up, man?
Hey,
Dash, I literally talked about you earlier in the show today. You wasn't here when we was talking about pet peeves. We was literally talking about. Oh, by the way, since he's already on here, and Tracy, I literally personally am cutting you off because the blue bagger thing is like killing me.
Mickey and me are right.
You, okay. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Trust me. One of Dash's pet peeve, and I wanted to get this because I never thought of it. Never thought of this as a pet peeve. And we do it on this show. We do it on this show a lot. Is when an opinion is given and then a person come back and say, well, me personally. And Dash was like, well, yeah, it's you and it is personal. So why are we putting the two words together in the same sentence before we say something? And I was like, you kind of pushing it, Dash. And then I thought for a second, I was like, you know what? That kind of makes sense now. It's like, yeah,
Guilty.
that does make sense. And I do it. I do it.
I preference almost everything, so I get it.
I feel like, well, me personally.
Yeah,
I don't usually use the term "me personally" or something like that, but effectively, it's like prefacing what you're saying, like you do for every video. You give like a 3-minute introduction,
description, and then a 5-minute overview, and then a 16-minute. Like, okay, we'll sit here.
Thea's, first of all, the day I ever take crap from you about talking long, yeah, that ain't never happening. On your show, I will keep my mouth shut. I will take everything. On Tracy's show, I won't cuss. But yeah, the day I sit here and go, Thea thinks I talk too much. We have proven it. We have proven it.
Yeah,
we have proven that. Did we not prove it last week, Tracy and Anna, when we had an hour-and-a-half show?
Yeah, we went through that thing quick. We was like,
hey, I dig it. I 100% agree with you. You guys are far better without me on the panel because y'all able to just move through stuff. I do take things. I do take things longer.
I concur. Who else could say we talk about movies and somehow Dorothy was a mass murderer?
But don't say that because I don't want to hear about this. But the fact of the matter, we go back to the thing.
I enjoy hearing your thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anna.
I love you.
I love you too.
You irritate this all get out, but
I agree with you.
But
and he knows this.
Me personally,
you just did it.
No, I said me personally in a sentence does not fundamentally make sense. But I have to push back on one thing. How would you say that though?
This is what I believe. This is what I'm thinking. This is how my thought process is. But who goes through all that? It's way easier to say me personally.
And sometimes, especially when you're talking to someone like myself, I'm not necessarily giving you my personal opinion. oftentimes I'm giving you other sides to the argument. So me personally wouldn't make sense.
That's not a pet peeve of mine at all.
No,
So
what
what
had
happened
happened
was
was
That's me sitting there going, I know you're finna lie.
that's the beginning of a good story.
Yeah, that's the beginning of a
It's
good
like what
story.
happened, who slept with who,
Yeah, that's not a pet peeve.
Thank you,
He
family.
can talk as long as he wants. Hey, dude,
on his
this is
platform.
my show.
Yeah, Marlon, but you not short-winded. I mean, if we're gonna just be honest.
You just need to say Mbappe. Yeah, I guess
But some
so.
people don't like that statement.
You need Thea's just a minute.
They need me to be quiet. That's all.
I need all three of these people. I've said that plenty of times that I don't want to do this show without all three of these people. I don't. This comes with an abundance amount of knowledge. Anna comes with abundance amount of heart. Tracy comes with abundance amount of spiritual leadership. I need all three of them. I, on the other hand, don't have to sit here and listen to a long, drawn-out version of all three of them. It just
that's because you're Captain Planet.
Necessary.
With our powers combined.
Let our powers combine.
I'm sorry, Dash. I was referring to the host. Exactly. I can talk as long as I want. And had that at a boo-boo.
Yeah, because it's your platform. But you know, in terms of getting to the point, I think I'm the best at it because I'll cut something real short. I'm like, okay, we done. We finished. That's it.
No, actually, you're not very good at that at all.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
I have cut many a show short. When I say it's time to go, it's time to go.
Tracy, I have sat there, was it yesterday? Yesterday's show.
That was an exception because Theus kept going. I'm like, I gotta take my medicine.
I told you that. And I sat there and said, Tracy, don't get on that subject. Do not get on that subject. Please do not get on that subject. And you, but Wizard of Oz, and I'm like, oh my.
First of all, don't be telling Tracy what to do. Second of all, she is much better at getting to her point quickly and more concise.
I get to it. I'm like, you know what? I don't got all day with this. Here we go. Boom, boom. I may not always make the best arguments, but I make them quick. I hit quit and shut up and forget. We're the Justice League. I'm Superman. Theus is Batman. Marlon is Black Lightning. And Anna is Wonder Woman.
Nah, Marlon is Aquaman.
Black Lightning.
The Aquaman.
I'd rather be Batman.
But Theus likes Batman more than you like Batman.
Wonder Woman?
What lie did you just tell? I love Batman. Batman's my favorite
I didn't say you didn't love Batman. I said that Theus
you can have
loves
Batman
Batman.
because you know my favorite is the Joker.
We're talking about superheroes, not super villains.
You are such an evil individual. How you like the Joker more than everybody else?
What you mean?
I was talking about superheroes.
The Joker is honest with himself.
However, okay. So what about Lex Luthor?
See, Lex Luthor, I'm not really on his tip too much because like Lex Luthor is so. There's no altruistic aspect to Lex Luthor.
And that's why I fear him a lot more than the Joker.
Like he all about the money. You know what I'm saying? The Joker could care less about the money. He gets the money to do some of the things he wants to do, but it ain't about the money. It's about the principle.
Could you imagine if they
I didn't know that. Anna's in shock. Wonder Woman? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Wonder Woman is powerful.
Almost she brought up Wonder Woman. That's all she did.
And by the way,
I said Anna is Wonder Woman.
And if we're going by characteristics, so we can move on, if we're going by who's the most powerful female character,
it's Wonder Woman.
It's Wonder Woman.
Well,
we both can't be Wonder Woman.
Was that the other one? Who else had? You know what? You be Batman. I'm gonna be buddy with the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Green Lantern.
Yeah, that dude. Let me be that dude.
And he only.
I never saw that. What powers does he have?
Just don't put him in the sun or yellow bus or yellow mustard or yellow anything because he's useless.
It don't matter though. It don't matter. Everybody got problems. But I'm saying though, if you see Green Lantern show up, you like, yo, I'm looking at you, but you come from a much larger community that doesn't necessarily look like you, but they work like you and they want to save people and do good things. And we may look different, but we trying to make it happen. Green Lantern, be that dude. Unlike Batman, he got mental issues.
Boom, and we got 15 minutes before we even go to the next subject because we can stay on this for a long time.
Sure could, but we not.
But we're
Joker's
not.
a hero. So it's
next video.
A man runs up to Socrates and says, I have something to tell you about your friend. And Socrates looks at him and says, well, before you tell me anything about my friend, please pass it through these 3 filters. The first filter is the filter of truthfulness. Are you sure, absolutely certain that what you're about to tell me is true? And the man goes, well, no, I just heard it. And Socrates interrupts him and says, well, if it doesn't pass the filter of truthfulness, tell me, will it pass the filter of goodness? Is what you're about to tell me about my friend something good? And the man looks at him and goes, well, no, it's not good at all. And Socrates says, well, if it's not necessarily true and it's not good, maybe it could pass the last filter. Is what you're about to tell me something that is useful? And the man looked at Socrates and said, no, I guess it's not useful. So Socrates looked at him and said, well, if what you're about to tell me is not true and it's not good and it's not useful, then I don't want to hear it. I believe what we say about other people is more of a reflection of who we are than of the person we are talking about.
Man, I hate hearing that dude talk.
Here's one thing I gotta say. You're like my mother.
Yeah, you heard the tears coming, didn't you? He was about to cry at the end. You were about to cry at the end. Come on, bro. Come on, man.
That's why Rosario Dawson broke up with your sad behind.
You can't trust no brother with a bald face. I'm just saying.
Sit up there. Is it true?
If you got a bald face out there, brothers, maybe you different. But generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, if he got a bald face, there's something going on. And Corey always got a bald face. There's something wrong with him.
Obama has a bald face.
Who?
Obama doesn't have
There's
a mustache.
something wrong with him too. So you don't like Obama?
I really hate these people.
I don't. Well, I have a lot of problems with his policy.
Cory Booker, man, you heard it. He about to cry. He about to cry.
You're just like my mother.
Could you imagine him and Van Jones together in a serious conversation?
Gosh.
Man,
volunteers.
Man, we run out of tissues.
Why do they hate Cory Booker? Because they hate everything that's good.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
I hate Cory Booker. I just don't like to hear him talk.
I like what he said, Mickey, but I thought he's going to cry. He's going to cry. Watch it. Here we go.
Of pastors growing up, they didn't say Socrates, but they made the same story. And it's true.
The fact of the matter is,
but he was going to cry there at the end.
He was ready to cry.
He was going to cry at the end. He was going to.
Adam, thank you very much for what you said. It was a good point. We got to go through who said it, and he cried and everything. We're going to miss the point.
I got the point. I know the point.
I live by the point.
That's great.
That ain't the point. The point is that man about to cry.
The dude sounded like he was about ready to cry at the end.
Pick on the person who said the point.
We're going to cry in his own video.
It's true. You're my mother. What? Oh, Cory Booker irritates me. I'm not talking about nobody else on this. Me. He's irritating.
Corey,
irritating. She's available. She's actually. She's not actually available. She's actually dating or engaged to somebody else. But
dumped him and went right to somebody else. But my thing is, Rosario, like, it took me a minute to grow into Rosario. Because, like, when I was first introduced to her was Men in Black 2. And I was like, that's a funny looking woman. And then after I saw her more, I was like, wow, she's really a pretty lady. And then she started dating Corey. And I was like,
yeah, you went there. Mickey, I want to agree with you, but Cory Booker literally means nothing he says.
Those weren't even his words.
He has that Hillary fakeness to him. When I see him, it's just like I don't believe anything you're saying. He could just be saying hello, and I'd be like, "Go away."
He comes across like he might be a good dude. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know him personally.
He only pops up for sound bites, and he always sounds like he's using somebody else's words.
And it always sounds like he's gonna cry.
That man about cried when the Supreme Court justice. I mean, why you up here crying, bro? Say what you got to say. Yeah, you got to cry every time you talking. You crying, man. Stop, dude. I'm not saying the man ain't supposed to cry. I get it. Hey, all the emotional dudes out there, don't come for me, all right? Because I will hurt your feelings. But I'm saying there's a time to cry and not, and that man always ready to cry.
Yeah, I'm just like, nothing he says I believe. Even though what he was saying was absolutely true. Yeah. If it's not good, if it's not going to help the situation, don't say it. I agree with that. But when he says it, I'm like, nah, I don't believe you. Yeah, that's you, Mickey.
And I'm being silly. All right? Because, Corey, we could do far worse. We could do far worse.
Now, that is true. We could
Corey
do worse.
is at least trying to do some things right.
Yeah, we have.
You know, that's cool. But the man always sounds like he's about to cry. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see Tim Scott always crying.
I always see Tim Scott yelling at the top of his daggone lungs.
No, I see Tim Scott in the background.
Tim Scott don't know how to yell. Tim Scott don't know how to do nothing. He can't talk around them teeth. You know what I'm saying? Tim Scott just doing what he can do.
You just say you would make a motion. Yeah, how hard could that possibly be?
I mean, I'm just saying there's times to be sensitive. Like, I think everybody, like, your brain should make the decisions, your heart should temper your words, and your mouth should deliver the final product. All right. So that's the order that I think things should flow through. But these Carl Thomas type cats, they come right out their heart. It just falls out their mouth.
Who is Carl Thomas? I keep asking this. Who is Carl Thomas?
Carl Thomas was an R&B singer. And the reason why he gets called out is because he had a song called Emotional. And there's another one, and he had another one like, I Wish I Never Met Her. And he's crying about a woman that he messing with that already got somebody. And he feeling like he being left out. Dude.
She's cheating. You're cheating with her, but you're mad that you're getting cheated on.
Because she didn't leave her dude for him.
But while we on that subject, there's a song out there, and I hate that Steve Harvey was the one that pointed it out, but Steve Harvey did point it out that how did the song go? It's morning, and now it's time for us to say goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
Goodbye.
As we lay.
Yeah, as we
lay.
But the part of the song was, she's leaving me. I know she's not going to be.
No, he's leaving me because it was a woman singing about her cheating with a man. And she's wondering why he won't leave his wife.
Yeah.
But it's like, she's leaving me. I know that she's not going to be happy. And I'm like, who would? Your man went to get milk last night. He's coming in and the sun is up.
The ultimate
It's the same point we making about Carl Thomas. It's a matter of you the other person, and you done fell for the person, and now you feeling like you just treating me like the side piece. But that's what
job
you
are,
a
side piece. That's
what your job.
And the ultimate cheat song is I Saw You Standing in the Rain. That's the ultimate.
No, that's a stalker song.
No, that's the stupidest.
Ooh, boy.
I love that song. My
Police.
favorite part of that song is the rap part where he just leaps into a rap. Love that song.
One of the worst things ever was Boys and Men, End of the Road, when the dude who sings bass get to talking about, I saw when you went out with the other fella. I just didn't care. Man, if you don't take your simping ass somewhere, whoever wrote the song, I'd be like, I ain't singing that part. I ain't doing that.
But the funny thing about it is, now, okay, I'm going to pull a Theus and Tracy did. I don't even care what the words were saying. You are not Diana Ross. You ain't got to talk every freaking song that you make. I don't care because you got a deep soul. Cause we go through the end of the road. Cause I can't let go. Can't let go.
That's your homie, though. You gotta let him in.
Natural.
You gotta let your homie in, man. Come on.
You belong to
Come
me.
on.
I belong to you. You belong to you. Dude,
That's
we're
the
listening to the
homie.
song. I don't have
That's
to
the
hear
homie.
you talking. I
That's
don't
like-
care.
Well,
Can
that's
you
like-
shut up and let me listen to the freaking song?
That's like Old Dirty Bastard and Wu-Tang. You know ODB ain't had no business in that group, but that's the homie.
I don't care. Cause we go to the end. Dude, shut up. I'm listening to the song. Hello. I'm listening to the song. I don't need you to do a poem on it. I heard him.
A
I heard
poem.
what he said.
A poem.
I heard what he said.
What is a poem, Marlon?
They said it like 2 seconds ago. It's
He's
so
doing
natural.
the refrain.
It's so natural. Dude, they just said 2 minutes ago. I heard them. I don't need you.
He's
I don't need you.
punctuating the serious points.
Didn't you just say you hated that song because the man was...
I hated his little verse that he did because of what he was saying.
Thank you, Susan, because R&B and country do have a lot of similarities, but you know, that's a discussion people ain't ready to have.
No, it's fine. It's just different versions of the same stuff.
Yep.
It's all about the tempo and the melodies that we're accustomed to. R&B uses a certain kind of tempo and melody and imagery, and country music uses a different set.
No wrong can be said about the... Yeah, it can. They were one note.
Except that verse. Except that verse.
Temptations. You ain't bad at you.
I don't know. I'd have to go look it up. I don't know.
I gotta look it up. But if he's sitting there doing that Diana Ross
but if
thing,
he sat there talking about simping like that,
yeah. But Cory Booker, I keep saying Cory Booker, and that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's Cory.
Look, you love me. I gotta tell you how much I love you. I know. We just heard you sing like 3 minutes of the song. We heard you that you love him. We got it. We got that. We got the whole thing. We got to figure out how much you love him. Last video of the night, and we are out of here.
Okay, so let's try to make some sense out of this one. Joe Biden comes out and he calls Trump supporters fascist, and they get really upset about that. Not necessarily that he called them fascist, but that he is dividing the country. He should be trying to unite us. He should be trying to pull both sides together. Really? Ever since he took office, I've seen this flag that says, "Let's go Brandon." And that translates to fuck Joe Biden. And now you want to unify with the guy? You guys really want to be unified with him. You've been saying fuck him for 2 years. You've been calling him a fake candidate for 2 years. You've been saying that he didn't win the presidency for 2 years. You almost tried to overthrow the government because you didn't think he won the presidency. And now you want to unite? You've got an entire merchandise catalog dedicated to demonizing people like us. You've got shirts, hats, stickers, pins, flags, coffee cups, everything that demonizes people like us. You've called us communist, socialist, satanic pedophiles. We're the enemy of the people. We have no respect for God or country or the flag. We hate America. And now suddenly you want to unify with us? Really? I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying how that she didn't want to appeal to independent voters. That's the wrong way to think. That she just wanted to appeal to her kind of people. She didn't want moderates in her side. And so now that Dark Brandon, the guy who you claim can't even complete a sentence, gets up and throws one back at you, now you're saying, well, he should be unifying us. Okay, well, come on over. Let's all get unified. You want to join hands? I got my hand open. Come on, say it with me. Black Lives Matter. Okay, there you go. You did it, didn't you? Say it with me. Women have the right to choose what to do with their bodies. Okay, yeah, let's unify. Let's all get together. Come on, people, now smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another. Let's see if y'all do it. I doubt it very seriously. You really should set this one out.
Yep. Only contention I have with him is that I know he knows better because the way he was speaking was 100% that he knows this. But they're not wanting to come together.
No,
they want to win, and what they want is, since you've taken on the role of the good guy, then that means you're not allowed to hit back. So you're supposed to stay on your script, which is everybody come together. I'm the guy who bring you together, and then we get to stick with our script, which is we need to stand apart. We're the ones that are right. They're the ones that are wrong. And there you go. And that's how it's supposed to run. And then it's funny. There's no way Biden could have delivered that part of his speech any better. Dude straight up said, I'm not talking about all Republicans. I am talking about MAGA Republicans. And there's no better way to say it. So you're dealing with a dishonest adversary. So let them say what they're going to say. Forget it.
And the fact of the matter is, and I'm going to go back once again of what I've been saying on this show from the beginning. 2 points. And I'll let Tracy and Anna take it from there. 2 points. One, I'm so sick and tired of y'all sitting there talking about we need to come together as a country. We ain't never, ever been together as a country. We have tolerated a lot of stuff. Doesn't mean we was together as a country. You misunderstand togetherness and toleration. We ain't never been together as a country. Now, I'm not even going to go as far as to say we never will. It's not looking great. It's not looking like we ever will. And that's good. Fine. That's dandy. But the second point that I want to make is the guy made a absolutely pristine, perfect point. Biden has he made a point, but he missed a point. I'm going to add in what he missed. He made a pristine point of MAGA yelling out, let's go Brandon, which pretty much is saying, fuck Biden. That was y'all little joke and everything else for 2 years. Did you also forget that y'all created Dark Brandon until you realized that Dark Brandon was now the enemy and not the joke? Now you want that words to go away. Now you want it to subside because that's what you do. That's what you do. You create something. If it sticks, fine. We're running it to the ground, whether it's funny or not funny. And I've always said that Let's Go Brandon wasn't funny because it's like, grow a pair. If you're going to say fuck Biden, just say fuck Biden. Just say it if you're going to say it. But the Dark Brandon thing, I laughed at this so much because y'all thought y'all got one step over until Dark Brandon actually showed up. This is what happened when y'all thought the joke was only going to help your cause. And when it didn't, now you wanted to go away. We need to be cool by y'all and everything else. And the only reason I'm even saying this is because coming together as a country didn't start with this or this speech or whatever that Biden did. Coming together as a country started as soon as he was elected. Literally. That's when I saw it on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all of it. When Biden was elected, when Trump lost, all of y'all started printing out everything. Well, now we need to come together as a country. I even called out one of you people if you just so happen to be watching. I even called you out and you never answered because you don't ever answer my question.
That's a presidential thing, though.
Yeah, but my question was
so many presidents.
Yeah, my question to him was when he said, now we need to come together as a country. Anna, my question was simple. So are you admitting that we was never together during the 4 years that Trump was in office? Are you going to admit that right now?
No.
Because you're waiting till Biden is now in office, and now we need to come together now as a country. So what was we when Trump was in office?
No, that's the reverse, Marlon. When Trump got elected was when they said, oh, we need to come together because we need to support our president. He's our great leader. And then when Biden got elected, it was stolen. Oh,
No.
the ballots. They
I
went into the
literally mean
ballots and voted.
the day after we found out that Biden was elected. Once they did the certification and everything, that's when all that crap.
I agree. I agree with the way Tracy laid it out, because literally it was, we were together.
Yep. Trump
Well,
was so
better
great.
yet, we should have all been together. We had every reason to be together because Bush was a great guy and we were all together. And then Biden came and broke us apart. And then Trump came and put us
You
all
mean
back
Obama.
together.
You said Biden, but you mean
I'm
Obama.
sorry, Obama, yeah. And then Trump came and he was there to bring us all together. And we were all together. I didn't look around and notice that no one who didn't look like me was present, but we were all together. And then, now you got this guy in here and we're falling apart again. So the rule of the game is assimilation. America has always been about this. If you really pay attention to its messaging, the melting pot concept, it was always about conforming. It was always about assimilating. And the assimilation only went one way.
Right.
So that's why America's never been together. But the image or the ethos was everybody's going to be white. But no matter how hard you want to be white, you're not white, so you can't be white. And that's been the tug of war in America since the very beginning. And then now you're having people who are sitting here looking at it and we're saying, you know what? People like me who are sitting here saying, you know what? After all these years, all these generations, all the blood spilled, all the land stolen, all the opportunities crushed, all the spirits destroyed, I don't want to assimilate. I don't want to join you. My parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents have been begging to be with you, to be in this country as one people since the beginning. And you reject it, and you fight it, you destroy it, you punish us. So now, fuck you. I don't need to be with you. I don't care about being with you. What I say is, can we at least just work together to make this country good? I don't need you to be me. I don't need to be you. We need to be us. And let's just take care of America. But that message is really hard when you look at the Trump MAGA person, they're all, except for the ones who are paid to say otherwise, they're all like random white people. And there's nothing wrong with being white, but this particular grouping is the group that says every time I went to a rally, it was full. Everywhere my chosen leader went, there were thousands of us. So there's no way we're not on the right side of this. That's how they're viewing it. So that's why, sometimes we have to pull back and not put an evil intent on people. They're literally so sucked in that because everything around them feeds what they're thinking, they can't see anything else. And that's why we got these weird people, man. But it's cool. America's, like Marlon said, America's never been together. I say America will never be together. But I say that America shouldn't try to always be together. I think that's the problem. We need to acknowledge our differences and then focus on where we overlap and what will make the country better.
But isn't it ironic? Oh, go ahead, Marlon.
Go ahead, Trace. Go ahead.
Isn't it ironic that they even use the word unity? I'm like, you literally worship a man who said Mexico doesn't send its best and brightest. They're not sending their stuff. You want us to rally behind him, but when Biden calls for unity, which Trump never called for, to my knowledge, now you have
Look, I honestly think that it was a surprise to a lot of MAGA people that Biden started to actually say things, call them out by name.
And he really did. I mean, he really went soft on them. He called them
and they just reached for the closest headline that they could, and that was, well, don't you need to bring us all together? It really was a sloppy response. It wasn't thought through. It seemed like it came in shock.
Yeah, it wasn't real. Because it all comes down to this. coming together, so long as coming together means I give up nothing and you just agree with me, I can work with that. And that's where they're coming from. Like, we're already right. We're right. So if you would just acknowledge that we're right and join us, we can all be united. That's what they mean.
Yeah.
I get. Yep.
Right?
I know.
They don't mean, hey, we're more alike than we're different. What can we do together so that we can form a more perfect union? They don't mean that shit. They mean, I already figured it out, man. And I just need you to catch on. And
yeah.
Come on.
And the deal is this when it comes to the United States. No matter how much technology changes us, and it does, no matter how social equality has changed, and it has, I have to admit, it has. Slowly, but it has. But let's be realistic when you come to equality, coming together, kumbaya, and everything else. And Thea's probably said it a lot better than me and everything. I agree with that. There are two sides of the coin, and each side of the coin is trying to get the other side of the coin to come to their side. And it's always determined on who is calling the shots. You have for 4 years a dude that pretty much just told you everybody that ain't white or rich, sorry, people that's white poor, he wasn't talking about you.
You thought he was.
Using you.
Yeah, you thought
But
he was, but
he thought he was. He wasn't white and rich. Let's look at what he said. We're building a wall. Why are we building a wall? Because we're keeping the Mexicans out. Black Lives Matter, we're going to bomb you. We're going to destroy you. We don't want you talking about anything that we did. I'm going to sit there and bomb you and everything else so I can hold a Bible in front of a church that didn't even ask me to come.
And upside down.
And upside down.
We're going to abandon our allies overseas because they don't look like us.
The rule of law states when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Now let's flow to the other side. They're saying now we need to come to unity, come together. We need to be one great union. My question to you is, what is that?
It means conform or die.
That's all. I get it, Thiz. I get it. But that's my question to you. We went 4 years with a guy who pretty much told you he was the greatest thing since sliced bread as long as he puts down another race, creed, color, religion, or sexuality. Now you want to come together, and my question to you is, what exactly is that?
They don't know and they don't care.
Yeah, they haven't been given that particular sound bite, so they don't know.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna blow y'all mind.
They don't have
Fox
the answer.
didn't tell them how to answer that question, so they don't really know.
They don't have an answer to what's coming together because what's coming together is pretty much the equivalent of what we've been saying for the longest time. Whatever it is that Trump told you.
Yeah, because we've been asking them for 5 years now. Well, 7, 8 years now almost.
7.
What does MAGA mean?
Make America
and no
great.
one can answer that question.
When was America great?
They can't answer that question because
time was America great?
They know if they go down that path, they're going to end up in a place they don't want to be. But my thing is I'm going to flip this a little bit because we oftentimes, or at least myself, oftentimes talk about, how bad, white folks have been and all that, right? As a collective, not individually.
We banned the Muslims from entering the country.
But the real issue is really a power dynamic. So had instead of Europe being the ones spreading out, it had been Africa doing it, we'd be in a very, very much the same situation. So it's just those are the reason why we focus so much on white people in European culture is because they're the ones who are right now doing all this damage, right? Who continue to do this damage. But if you just played the game and just flip it to another culture, you run right back into some of the same issues because the evils of man are kind of universal. You go to Africa and you got the Tutsis fighting the Hutsis You go to China, look at what they're doing to their own people. You go to, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
People exploit power and otherize another group. Because before the Europeans came to America and started committing wholesale genocide on the indigenous peoples, they were doing it to each other in Europe. The only thing that stopped them from killing each other in Europe was they were like, yo, this world's bigger than this. Let's go get some of that. That's the only thing that stopped them. And now you got Russia doing it to Ukraine. So the human problem is so much bigger than race. It always comes back to power dynamics. Always. Who has control over the resources? And that's what they do. And that's what everybody ends up doing. And then they start copying each other on varying degrees. But if we could just get to the understanding that this earth literally has so much supply that all of our needs are taken care of, and just be like, you know what? How do I get my group to be good without taking from your group? But that's pie in the sky thinking that'll never happen because we're too far gone. We're just too far gone. We're going to keep doing this until either something smashes into the earth and kills all of us, or we manage to just go straight nuclear and kill all of us. The path is only going one way.
That's never happening.
What?
We go nuclear and kill each other.
Well, we would like to say that, but every time you want to say something would never happen, we find a way to do that stupid stuff.
Yeah, man.
And I sit there and say this. This is why I say it ain't never happening because literally the upper crest, high rate politicians have found out that we're going to sit there and say a whole bunch of crap about what you should be doing. We ain't going to put ourselves on the line. Tucker Carlson,
but it won't be up to them at that point.
All of them people always have figured out. Yeah, if I was you, I would be running the streets and shooting and everything else. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, like Trump. I'll be right there with you in March. You was throwing dishes at the wall.
Thing about it is,
well, come to find out, he actually wanted to be there.
He actually wanted to be there
so bad.
The funny thing we found out was Trump. We didn't find out how idiotic this dude was, but Secret Service was the one that stopped them.
Yeah. But Tracy's point still stands. I'm with you, but I'm just saying the reason why I say it could still end up going down that path, I think before we'll ever get there, because all the major nations know to stay off of each other's back. That's why people get away with stuff, right? So what will most likely happen, and I hate to say it, but there's a lot to it, within the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to pop off here in America, and it's going to be bad because what America refuses to do is to look at itself. We refuse to do it. And every time we refuse to do it, we're just kind of delaying it and allowing the pressure to build. And every 30 to 40 years, we usually do something to let some pressure off, right? So like we had the period of time when we were coming out of slavery, you let some pressure off. Coming out of Jim Crow, you let some pressure off. Coming out of the Cold War, you let some pressure off. We let pressure off, but we never fix anything. And we're getting to this point where it's going to be a point of no return, where the powers that be have stoked anger and fear so much that the only way to relieve pressure is a lot of people being hurt in serious, serious ways.
I think it's going to take something that's going to. It's not the insurrection. I hate to say it like that. I wish it was, but it isn't. It's going to take something detrimental, and that's what this country is. We have to have traumatic events to sway the country. Not change, sway.
Hey, I can fix it, Marlon. Here's how we fix it. Take United States of America. It's a huge country. Right? You can't split it north to south because of the resource situation and all that stuff.
I know where you're going with it.
Cut it north to south, like straight up and down. Now it's two countries with a working cooperation. So you have two governments on each side. So now one side has the benefit of Texas and New York. I mean, Texas and California. The other side has the benefit of like New York and I don't know, whatever else we got on this side of the country. And at the same time, you make all the territories, you give them the right to either become a country or not a country, right? And let's do that whole thing. But now you've settled all those decks and sing. And we can do it without a war. See, I would rather everything happen without a war. I don't want to see. I don't want to see people get killed in the streets.
LA. That's what we'll have. It'll be
what?
New York against LA.
Yeah, because then I'm like, well, we want Texas. Well, why they got more?
I mean, we'll always have that particular issue, right? But secession is coming in some form or fashion. So we can do it bloody.
No, just let them go. If Texas wants to be their own state, let them. Let them. I keep saying let them. But when something pops off, don't come crying to me. Don't come crying to me.
No, you got to let them do it. See, the problem
let
is
them go.
Texas doesn't want to do it by themselves. They're literally trying to redo the Confederate model. So,
I say if they want to be their own country, okay, you lose 2 senators, you lose 11 representatives. When something happens, because you know something always happens in Texas, don't be crying to me, we need money. You're a young country now. Do you, boo?
I mean, but here's the thing, though. If you let Texas secede, now, if we do it piece by piece, I'm with you, right? So let Texas secede, right? Now, as part of that bargain, though, we destroy all of our federal government infrastructure and we leave. It's your state. It's your country now. But you don't get any of the stuff. You don't get the benefit of our bases or any of our protection. It's just you, right? Now, it's funny. Texas is willing to secede so they can be their own country. But when we just asked for a state, there was a problem. Like, couldn't give black folks a state. But you'll let this. All right, cool. But anyway.
I'm reading this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just run through the thing. So let Texas secede, but you still got to be like, you know what? Once they get a taste of Mexico saying, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take this back now, then you can let them come back with their tail between their legs, right? Because at the end of the day, you really don't want to watch our countrymen get murdered over there, but you got to have a strong resolve that says the only way you're coming back is we own it. Like all this stuff is done, you know? But let him go out. That's like your kid who think he want to run away. So you lock the door when he walks out there and he sit on the front porch and cry for 2 hours.
Parker, because we only got a few more. We only got a few more minutes.
I thought he was gonna say Storm. I've heard that about me.
We're gonna switch because we've already said this on this show, and you're coming in late.
I like his
fault, but we're coming in late. Anna will always be Scarlet Witch. Always.
How so? Why?
Because Anna was at the first presidential address and on this show at the exact same time.
Yeah,
but
she was
then,
protecting
if she's Scarlet Witch, then who am I then?
You could be Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is kind of powerful.
I don't follow Marvel other comics.
I follow all of it.
I'm a DC comic
girl. Be that person that sits there. I'm DC. I don't care. If you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not.
And who's Captain Marvel? I don't know. I literally am like, who?
She's the female Captain America, almost Superman equivalent. Like she's pretty. She's pretty out there.
Most people say Storm. I know who Storm is because of the Halle Berry movie.
Yeah, but Marvel comic universe, those guys, they don't even like to. They like to pretend like the mutants are a whole separate thing altogether. Like they don't even have the same conversation. So, Marlon, no, I'm right.
The funny thing about it is there's 3 Captain Marvels.
Are one of them female?
All of them are females.
I don't know. I don't read Marvel. All I know about Marvel
I know. I'm
Black
telling you
how you said that to Tracy.
Okay, real short story because it ain't even going to take that long to even put this all together. Captain Marvel did start off as a guy.
Yes.
So the first transgender superhero.
Nowhere near the most popular Captain Marvel. At this point, when you say Captain Marvel, is automatically a female. So we're talking about comic books that was in the 50s and 60s. Now everybody know that when you say Captain Marvel, is a female.
The only ones I know in the Marvel universe are Spider-Man, Black Panther. And that's pretty much it.
Wolverine. Storm.
Wow. You don't know none of the X-Men?
I
None
don't
of
like the X-Men.
Avengers?
I know all the DC comic ones.
Hulk?
I mean, I knew the TV show where David Banner went like that and was like hiking down the street and they played that little sad walking away music. Does that count?
I think it counts.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
He did. He held his thumb out like that. And then that music would go dun 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 dun.
I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. That's my go-to thing on every stuff I don't understand. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. Anna, please tell everybody where they can find you.
Borrelia, etc. BORRELIAETC.com. Same on YouTube, same on Instagram.
This?
ComplexSimpleMan.com. That's ComplexSimpleMan.com. Please come check me out. I need the traffic, y'all.
Tracy?
You can find me at TracyMediaLLC.com, all platforms.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show for tonight. You will find us tomorrow where I absolutely, positively, without a shadow of a doubt, don't have a subject. So we're just going to shoot the breeze, and with this group that comes on at 8 o'clock tomorrow, remember, Radical Truth to Power is 8 o'clock tomorrow. Don't really matter. Really, really don't with this group.
Open floor?
It's an open floor. I don't have a flat out topic. It is tomorrow. Tomorrow is open discussion where we will talk about everything. We'll talk about Tracy's little thumb, and we will talk about anything old, new, black, white, race, not race, whatever. I appreciate everybody that's coming out tonight. I really do. Let's get into these last part of the night. Dash, I will see you tomorrow if you can, but I will definitely see you Wednesday on your show. Please do not forget that is his website. Please do not forget to support Dash. Please also do not forget that Dash does have a catering. Food is phenomenal. I appreciate y'all if y'all will go out to support him. Parker,
hey,
thank you for the stream.
Marlon, I need you to put Dash's joint in our chat so we can be sure we check out his video. You know what I'm saying?
I will do that tomorrow. So yeah, I will put the Dash's. I will put that.
Thank you, Parker.
Thank you, Parker. I will put that in the chat tomorrow so everybody can check him out. The dude is phenomenal. I appreciate it. Night, humans.
Good night, my fellow human.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Bear.
Good night, Mickey. Oh, good gracious, my tongue got tired.
I forgot what that means. So that is all for tonight. Again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that is our show for tonight. We will see you on Radical Truth to Power tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.